Welcome everyone to this very special stream from Draco Studios. Everything is in order. And welcome. Everyone please feel free to unmute your stream, your Discord chat. We are live here at Draco Studios on Twitch. My name is Bernardo Alvarez. I am the head of lore and when all matters regarding Eldritch Century here at Draco Studios. This is a very special stream tonight because we're doing not only our first live campaign on Twitch, but it's also our first with people who are not from the team, with actual backers from our like Kickstarter campaigns. One of which is still live on Twitch on Kickstarter, which I should probably have that link ready. In the meantime, how is everyone doing? This also works as a mic check. Yeah, we're here with Adan, who will be playing Abdul, Andres, who will be playing Wole and Nefer from both of these characters from the Aximite Federation. We're with Moy, who is playing Tino from the Oceanic Community, and with Mason, who is going to be playing Tatsuo from the Nishoku Teikoku. Is that the link? No, I don't think that is actually it. I should have this prepared. Anyway, for those of you who are not super familiar with our sci-fi horror setting, Eldritch Century. Here, let me just put his. Here we go. Eldritch Century is our horror sci-fi setting. It's set in an alternate history universe, in an alternate history Earth, where in the First World War this strange fog appeared in Europe, and little by little it started growing and just consuming every single bit of Europe until 1963, where it just the entire continent, along with a few shores in Africa, was lost under this fog. Nobody who went in could ever come out until 63, and in 63, when people started being able to like walk in and out, they realized that there were monsters in there and that everything that was left behind had been corrupted and twisted past the limits of logic and reality. In the meantime, while the miasma was very busy just expanding and making trouble with everything that was around it, the world outside started reorganizing into what we now call factions. These are any form of agreements or coalitions between nations. We have the highly capitalistic Atlantean Alliance, who won't be playing tonight. We have the down in South America. That's in North America, between Mexico, the United States, and a couple of noble families who escaped from England into America. Down south in South America, we have the super artistic and really challenging Renaissance hegemony, who figured out a way to create certain mutagens. While they don't know the exact results of these mutagens, they always awakened psionic powers in different degrees, of course. But that is the one thing they have for certain. Everything else is just like it changes from person to person. They won't be playing tonight either. Who will be playing tonight is our in Africa, northeastern Africa. The Aximite Federation was born as a form of rebellion against certain colonialistic intentions that were going on in Africa, which honestly threatened the entire continent and potentially the world, right? The Aximite Federation is really. They discovered a gift in the desert, which held really strange secrets that eventually led them to understand nanobiotechnology and gave them a way to distill the miasma that was so close to them and transform it into what they now call Sohar. If you've seen the artwork from our mini campaigns, from our 3 campaigns really, the strange purple crystals that you see attached to characters, that's what Sohar is, along with a form of fuel and other such solutions. Tonight we are 2 of our players, both Adan and Andres, are working with these kinds of characters. Abdul is a cherub. Cherubs are all paths in the Aximite Federation are called dread angels, but cherub are the ones who go through the more painful process of becoming a dread angel. All of these processes are, of course, uh, what's the word? Well, you willingly. You go through the process willingly, and anyway, the Carib becomes whoever becomes a Carib becomes like much taller, much stronger than they used to be, and they also gain access to certain powers depending on how you build your character. We'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, I mean, these are the guys who you can see with lion-shaped masks, all of which are, by the way, personal to each Carib, and the design goes to it's built for every single one, right? Like it's not a not everybody has the same design. Um, and Wole slash Nefer is playing one of the Ofan, who are probably one of the more narratively interesting characters out there, at least to me. While we were working on them, Ofan are the identities and consciousness of fallen warriors and, well, I mean, yeah, deceased warriors who were locked into a sphere, which was itself locked into a mask, which is then worn by a host body, and then it's a bit of a fun relationship between the warrior, which is the actual Ofan, and the host body. They kind of work together to survive because neither wants to die in the miasma, and whatever the relationship is, the one calling the shots is the Ofan, the former the fallen warrior. Um,
The orb.
yeah, exactly, the orb. That's the Aximate Federation. I kind of stopped there for a second because that's some of the characters that are gonna be playing tonight. We also have the Sino-Siberian Mandate. They're not playing tonight either, but I might as well talk about them a little bit too, right? They are a key element in understanding the history of the Eldritch Century universe. Um, One of the main changes in like between our real life timeline and the Eldritch Century timeline is that the USSR actually expanded throughout Europe, and it threatened to actually expand throughout the world, not only through the through military strategy, but also through actual relations and through some real politics that happened, right? Um, However, then the miasma happened, and then it expanded and took away all their power. But they came back as the Sino-Siberian Mandate when Yermak and Shu, from one from Russia, one from China, came together as the two heads of the faction, and just kept moving on and kept moving their communist agenda as much as they could in the many limits imposed by the miasma. Um, Not only are they the communist faction, they also are responsible for developing Teslatronics and Teslamancy, which are these strange powers involving electricity and electromagnetism. Um, you can explore all of these paths and all of these powers by yourself, if you play the game, like if you buy a copy of the game and play it, right? Um, anyway, down in Japan, it's one of our smallest factions. They're called the Empire of the Eclipse. It's the story of the Empire of the Eclipse is that once the Empress Aiko, she heard the call of the kami and the yokai, who told her basically that they understood that the miasma, they knew the miasma, they knew what was going on, and there was no there was no way to save themselves from what was going to happen. Um, in any case, they came to this conversation where the emperors decided, well, we have to escape, we have to get out of here, so they turned their attentions to space. Right now, instead of being an empire that's looking to conquer any lands, they're actually just interested in getting resources and leaving the earth. Um, Mason, who's playing Tatsuo, is one of the Kinsokuani, who I don't think we have art of them here, but you've perhaps seen art of these creatures before. I'm gonna actually look for it while we. Um, Actually, I'll probably look for the art a little bit after while you guys are introducing yourselves, um, so that we don't like stumble much more in the introduction of our world. Uh, Anyway, now that's five of our factions. The sixth faction, it doesn't have really uh, localized land. They have a couple of lands, but they're mainly in the waters. It's called the Oceanic Community, and they're a decentralized fleet of scrap-made ships that just go over the oceans. Like they scour the seven seas, seeking to clean the earth because they believe that by cleaning the earth, they will also get rid of the miasma. Whether they are right or wrong is really not like it's up for debate, but we can neither confirm nor deny that they are right. And by that, I'm saying honestly a lot more than I should be. Anyway, Moy is going to be playing Tino, who is one of our shamans. The powers of the Oceanic community, at least the ones that you'll be seeing tonight, are they came from a character we call the Woman with the Half Moon, who who taught the Oceanic community how to not only work with the blood in oneself, but also the blood in others. And shamans, what they do, well, shaman actually is what we call the plural for these for the path. They can actually like awaken your blood so that you'll heal, or they can even like use it against you. The latter is a bit stranger; it's a bit rarer, but it does happen. Like nothing's stopping them from using your own blood against you. Um, that's a very, very short, very quick introduction to our world. If you want to learn more, please feel free to click the link that I shared a little bit earlier. If anyone else from the team is watching this, yeah, like just throw the links out there while we're talking. Um, our live campaign right now is mainly focused on STL packs, so that you can print your own 3D miniatures and just like go adventure yourself, along with a couple of stories that we've been working on the side to like expand the universe that we have created in Eldritch Century Chronicles of the Wounded Earth. That's enough of me. Let's learn little bit about our characters before I talk to you guys about how the Draco system works. Whoever wants to start, go ahead. All right, Mason,
No
you're
volunteers.
Fine, I'll call you out.
I will go. I will go. All right. So the character that I will be playing tonight is Tatsuo Ota, who lived a fairly peaceful life in rural Japan until the miasma began spreading. As the miasma spread, tragedy struck the Ota family. He lost his parents in a very traumatic experience. And so while many Kinzu Kwoni take upon themselves kind of that call out of virtue or to try and help the world or things like that, Tatsuo has become a Kinzu Kwoni purely as kind of a little bit of a path to vengeance against this calamity that took from him his family and his home. So yeah, while he is out in the miasma, if he ever goes out, he looks for his friend Mitsue Takeuchi, who was lost during an operation a year or two ago. And also Tatsuo's signature Kinzu Kwoni armor is painted as white as it can be. Of course, some of the parts, they don't paint for the sake of functionality and things like that. But whatever parts he can paint, he paints white so that as he crushes his enemies, everyone can see the remains. He's not the friendliest person.
All right, Mo, you're up.
Well, contrary from Tatsuo, Tino is a very friendly person. He's a very peaceful and insightful person, and as is the way of the Oceanic Alliance, he is just trying to get rid of the miasma by using the teachings of the half moon and cleansing this atrocity from Earth with the power of tranquility, just like the ocean.
I am working as fast as I can to like cover up for the fact that I looked for all of the monsters that you guys are going to be looking for, except not one of the characters. In the meantime, yeah, Andres, go for it.
Right. I'm playing the Ophan. It's two characters in one. So you have the host, the warrior. His name is Wole Chinua. And the orb, the resurrected warrior, or the essence of the warrior, the greatest warrior, is Nefer Isimut, a woman. So you have this weird interaction between them both because she is a really strong warrior. She's all for the battles. She is a little weirded out about her new state, being in an orb. Everyone talks about being the Oafen and how wonderful these warriors are, but few tell you how it feels. And the truth is, it feels weird not having your body, or worse, your body being someone else's. And that someone else, Wally, is very honored to be carrying an affair on the mask. But at the same time, their personalities clash a little bit because he's not that into battle. He is a really good warrior, but he prefers to think things through, to mull things over, to see which is the best strategy. Contrary to Nefer, she's just power through things. Maybe that's why she died. So they're gonna struggle a little bit between themselves, and Nefer is going to struggle a little bit with Tino. Wall is going to struggle a little bit with Tatsuo. That's going to be fine. So we'll see what happens.
And Adan, you're up.
There is Abdul Batin. He's a cherub, as all Axiomate warriors. He was created by the Dread Angel technology, as was explained before. Abdul's reason to undertake the Dread Angel technology process was to give back to the Axiomate Federation, since when he was a child, he was saved by a group of cherubim from a certain death. So he's giving back to his people. And Abdul is honored to be put under the orders of Nefer and Andres' characters, since in our people in our federation, in the X-Men Federation, usually cherubim, just like Abdul, are the brute force, and warriors like Wole / Nefer are more like leaders. So Abdul is under the orders of Nefer, and he just wants to bring glory to the X-Men Federation.
Yep.
All right, you guys beat me to it. I did find a couple of art pieces, but since I don't have Photoshop, I can't actually see them. I do have one of our very own, the shaman, right
Let the people
here.
send their sketchy links for Photoshop.
They're sketchy. Yeah. Live on stream, a man destroys his computer. Yeah. Just because he was irresponsible.
Everyone went offline.
Yeah. Oh, what happened to my bank account? All right, so this is the shaman that well, the base artwork we have for the shaman. The Moya's gonna be playing with.
Good.
I know. It's. I mean, honestly, the artists we have in our team, they are something else. That's for the shaman, and now the. Well, let's go back to here so that people have something to see, so that people can see me fumble live. It should be on here. Wait. Well, as while I search for my utter destruction, I'm gonna talk to you, to everyone who's on chat right now, about how the system works. People who are familiarized with role-playing games have probably heard of something that people call 5e, the 5th edition of the world's most famous role-playing game. Draco system is similar to that system in how we use the D20 to solve any conflict at all, and to solve any form of it doesn't necessarily have to be conflict. Like every skill check, every situation that wants to be solved as we go along, that's how we solve it, through the roll of a d20 and the adding or subtracting of modifiers. All right, I'm just gonna get started with the rest of the stream because I can't really find it. If anyone else from the team is on chat, please just send me any artwork from the Carib and the Ofan through Slack. That would be great. So yes, we use the D20 as base for the system, but there are certain changes. First of all, we changed a couple of names so that they would work better for the setting. Arcana, Nature, and religion were kind of set aside because even though, like, I think religion is the one that really needs kind of some sort of specification while I'm talking about this. There's no magic in Eldritch Century. There are powers and they are very strange, but they're not actually like magic themselves, not at least in the way that we understand them in other role-playing games. Arcana has been replaced by Eldritch, like in the title. And it's a skill that lets you understand or at least remember facts that you know about like the miasma itself, or miasmic creature, miasmic corruption. Technology is pretty self-explanatory, as is science, just knowledge on these two fields. We took religion away because while it is a thing that exists in our world and in our timeline, in our alternate timeline, it doesn't really affect or impact the world the way that it does in the world's most famous role-playing game. This covering of names is truly fun. We also changed armor class for defense, and it's still like your armor still gives you defense. It's just a different name, just so that it would make a little more sense with how the armor itself works. As for the additions and for the absolutely new things that we brought into the system, there's the damage reduction, which is a small step, but it really does change everything when dealing with the miasma. Damage reduction does exactly what the name suggests. If your damage reduction is 2 and you are getting 6 damage, then you'll get 4 damage at the end of the damage. Oh, I'm hearing from Pam from Draco that I already have the artwork where I need it. Thank you, Pam. All right, here we go. Look at that. All right, downloading now. And downloading now. Oh, look at that. That is an excellent plugin of the core book, Pam. I applaud it. All right. Another thing that we added is, since the miasma itself is a very a highly corrupting presence, the things that people see when they're in the fog can truly challenge their grasp on reality, and truly make them like rethink their entire existence. For that matter, this is the Ofan, and this is artwork taken directly from the core rulebook. We'll be sharing links as the adventure goes along for where you can find this and how you can get your own copy of the game. This is the Ofan. I have not lost my trail of thought, I promise. We have added the miasmic dread checks. This is the Cherub, by the way, what Adan will be playing. Miasmic dread is the every character trying to keep their wits about them when they see something as striking as what the miasma can bring to their experience. Anytime they face monsters, they will have to succeed on a sudden dread, and anytime they spend a long rest within the miasma, they also have to succeed on rest. Not because they're scared necessarily, but simply because the miasma has been around them for long enough. We have also gotten rid of any form of coinage. Of course, economics still exist in our alternate timeline, but it was kind of hard to put everything together into one core rulebook without explaining economics as a concept and as how everything works. So we traded all of that for resource checks. Resource checks can be performed by anyone. They're not linked to any ability at all, but they can have proficiencies depending on how you created your character. It's just anytime you're trying to look for a weapon or for armor or for any kind of object that you're trying to get, then you roll a resource check which works exactly the same as every single other roll against a DC, and whether you succeed or not, it's up to the numbers. Our powers, which are probably the biggest change that we added, since we again don't have spells as per se, we do have powers available to all forms of paths in the Eldritch Century universe. We don't have spell books because that's your understanding of how an entire field works cannot be put down into a couple of pages in a book they carry with you. You mostly have them kind of logically remember them. So every power field's power is available to every power caster depending on their power limit, and these powers can be modified as they are cast by the characters. There are certain rules like range. Every single power, unless otherwise specified, has a range of 10 feet. They target one single target. It can be friendly or hostile, and anytime the power is attacking a hostile enemy or being applied to a hostile creature, either the character has to roll to attack or the creature has to do a saving throw. However, by spending more action points, which are available to all characters, these rules can be changed depending on the situation. This allows for spells to work differently every time that the characters are doing anything in their adventure, and it allows for the story to be shaped by decisions that go much farther than just character interaction. That is a lot of talking from me. Yeah, so tonight's adventure it should be pretty quick. We should be done with tonight's stream in about 2 hours and a half. And if we aren't, then depending on what the chat wants, really, and depending on you guys' on your schedules, you should let me know. We'll see whether we cut the stream or just keep going and see where the night takes us. Tonight, these 4 Minerva initiative characters. Minerva, by the way, is another. It's a secret organization that exists in the world of Eldritch Century. They are completely focused on destroying the miasma. Similarly to the Oceanic community, but they are not assuming that their actions can clean it. They are trying to scientifically destroy the miasma. They have also taken it upon themselves to protect the rest of the world from any strange technologies that may arise from either the fog or the factions' developments, to make sure that no, the Great War that happened at the beginning of the century doesn't happen again. Just in case that is going to make the miasma worse, right? Because there's a lot of theories from about where it came from. This non-faction, the Minerva Initiative, takes recruits from all over the world, whether they are from a faction or not. They usually take people from factions because their technologies and their technologies allow for much more. Well, for at least for people who are going into the fog, they are much more prepared to survive the fog, whereas nations that aren't necessarily aligned with any faction perhaps don't have the means to explore the fog. Why would they want to, right? It's filled with monsters and horrible things. Pulling it back, yeah, our 4 characters are recent recruits from Minerva. They'll be playing level 3 characters, which were designed by myself so that people would have choices from each of the factions. And their mission is, and we're starting the adventure now, their mission was given to them by their, obviously by their superiors, by their recruiting officers. All reports insist that a remnant community, remnants being all the people who were trapped in the miasma while it expanded or while it as the miasma expanded or as it honestly anytime that it expanded, I'm sorry, and who were trapped inside and could not escape, also people who walked into the miasma hoping to be able to exit and weren't able to, they're called remnants, and they're usually in communities. There are reports for Minerva that there is a remnant community in Sevilla, Spain. For this matter, to kind of hasten things up, our characters have actually docked in Faro, Portugal, which is one of the harbors that Minerva has available to them. They were given a truck, for which I have the data here, the stat sheet,
keys.
The keys, yeah. And yeah, I mean they can decide to ride toward Sevilla at any point, and you guys can use this time to try to try to get a grasp on what you'll be trying to do. Let the role playing begin. First of all, who will be playing? This is a land vehicle. It does not have a faction assigned to it.
So who can drive?
I have proficiency in land and water vehicles.
Awesome.
So if no one else does, we can say that Tatsuo
Yeah.
somehow crams himself into the driver's seat.
Sure thing.
He's
I
he's
feel
used to that.
Listen,
I
if it
feel
works,
so
right?
so much more comfortable on water vehicles. So go ahead and drive the land one.
Yeah. All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you can use this time to learn more about the mission if you want to. Any checks that you want to perform regarding the what you know, or just the free stuff that you know. No, but actually, the free stuff that you know is that you're going to Sevilla. Yeah.
I guess I'll go ahead and make a check or something to see what Tatsuo would be aware of regarding so there's a community in Sevilla that we are going to meet with. Are we trying to extract them? Are we trying to get information from them? Things like that.
That doesn't require a check. You're not trying to
Okay.
extract information. You're trying to extract them from the miasma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you,
So right now we're at Portugal, right?
I'm sorry.
Right now we're at Portugal.
Yes, you're in Portugal, and you're making your way to Sevilla.
Where somewhere specifically in Portugal? Or just
Yes, it's Faro, Portugal. It's all the way south, kind of close
yeah,
to,
but
to Spain.
inside Portugal.
Yeah, on the road in Portugal.
So somewhere, okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Portugal, right?
Specifically
southern
on a highway that's taking you to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if we're coming from Lisbon, we're not that far from Sevilla, so it
looks
should
like-
be straightforwards.
Let's-
But if we're
All right, let's open a
coming from
map.
Yeah, it looks
All right.
It looks like Faro is actually even close to Sevilla and closer
Okay.
to Sevilla. It's on the southern coast of Portugal, pretty near the eastern border.
That it is.
We're just going east, so okay.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
going east through this terribly destroyed highway as you as you go along. It's been I mean the landscape in the miasma is not a warscape effort. Like it's not a post-apocalyptical warscape that we're accustomed to from all of the media. From the games and stuff. It's actually been more ravaged by a form of corruption that nature, for example, has grown much larger than we have ever seen it, and even wilder. Some plants have actually taken a different form of life and walked around and stuff. But what you see as you travel through this honestly desolated highway is a lot of cars that were abandoned almost in a hurry. Some of them were even just flipped to the side, and there's even some evidence of recent struggles. If you had to put a date for this kind of struggle, it would have been about a couple of weeks ago that somebody had a fight here. But as far as you can tell around you, you're kind of alone. You're trying to make your way through this weaving highway. And it's kind of making sure that it's a good thing that you got a truck because everybody feels a lot of bouncing around.
Okay.
Soon you'll
Don't
make.
open
Don't open the windows. Yeah, roll them up, kids. Soon you reach the border with Spain. You can tell it's the border not only because of the river, but also because of this huge archway, just kind of dilapidated. Honestly, you can see just half of it. And yeah, you can see the words "Welcome, bienvenidos España." Honestly, if you hadn't seen the archway, you could have just sworn that you were in the same place. The worst thing about the miasma is how similar everything is within. Well, probably not the worst thing. There's much worse things that can happen.
A couple of monsters, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
The death, destruction.
Yeah, kind of get used to
Aside
it with
from that,
role-playing games.
but
Yeah.
The landscape.
Same old thing.
Yeah. from what you do recall from your adventure as you make your way, is that Sevilla had actually as you fish through your documents, you see like the few notes that you were able to take up. Sevilla had a particularly hard time evacuating during the final miasmic expansion. Not necessarily because they didn't want to evacuate, but because it kind of took everyone by surprise. After all, the third miasmic expansion happened about 30 years after the previous one. So it makes sense that people kind of forgot about it. The same way that you have that, like, if that you know that if you didn't go into the miasma as often as you do, you'd probably forget about it. And you didn't really need the file to tell you this. As you see around the area that you're in, you see more and more cars piled up in like violence from long before you guys got in. Like from this whatever conflict happened here, it wasn't really because of the miasma. It was just the rage of get out of here, right? Like the rush of escaping. Go ahead and let's see who's up. I forgot the names of your characters. Abdul, go ahead and roll a history check for me, please. Awesome, that's a really good one. All right, so
I need to show it. It was too good.
yeah, for everyone at home, we're not using dice. Well, I'm using dice because I'm the game master and I have certain privileges as game master, which will, of course, torture my players. But since we're trying to keep things as balanced as possible, we're using all forms of apps for rolling dice. Draco Studios is not paid by any kind of app to be used, so it's just use whatever you want. But ideally, if you like dice, we do have a couple of really cool dice in our page. Anyway, yes, what you do remember, Abdul, is that the bridge of Triana and bridge of Los Remedios were destroyed in the evacuation. You also know that the bridge of San Telmo and the avenue that makes it up, the República de Argentina, is a really dangerous zone, according to reports from other Minerva agents. They've heard that there's either monsters or looters or all forms of things like that's just making things far worse. You do know that there is a Renaissance outpost somewhere in southern Sevilla. You don't know exactly where, at least like from the files that were given to you, like regarding the area. You don't know exactly where they are, but you do know that there's probably a Renaissance outpost somewhere in southern Sevilla. As you go along,
Do we know if they cooperate with Minerva?
You don't know, but it's really not likely. From what you recall, actually, as an Axomite, what you do know about the Renaissance is that they really kind of keep to themselves. They don't really. If people are not agreeing with them, the Renaissance don't see any point in collaborating with anyone else, unless there's something like tangibly like good for them in the near future from that interaction. Or unless like they're close friends from before. It really depends on the people, but it's the most likely scenario is that they're not cooperating with Minerva. Let me check your names. Tatsuo. As wait, first of all, Abdul, are you telling this to your peers? Do you communicate these to your friends? Yep.
I mean, I communicate that to Naffer first because even though we all are
Yep.
agents and peers, we kind of have a more close relationship.
Awesome.
And even though officially he/she is not my superior, I regard them.
Right.
I regard them as such. So yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
And we all know that there's this Renaissance post that we don't know if it's a good idea to check.
All right. Tatsuo, as you're trying to listen in, you kind of like look back and then you look forward and notice this huge like this massive hole in the highway, and it's kind of late to break, but I want you to do a maneuver check. That's your dexterity check. It's not a saving throw though, but yeah.
Okay. So just dexterity plus my proficiency since I'm
Since you're proficient in driving, yeah.
Great. Okay, sounds good. Now we find out if this was a wise choice for me to drive.
Exactly. Kiss of the elbows, right? It's
hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times.
I'm gonna hold on to something. Well, I'm gonna hold on to the mat. Mainly.
We'll actually
and then-
see if you do. Let's see how what happens. What did you get?
Okay. I rolled an 18.
Awesome.
And then my dexterity is 2 and my proficiency is 2, so that totals at 22.
Perfect. You kind of like just come back alive, and you notice that there's a very tight spot where you can probably take your car and just like you will it, and everybody feels the van just kind of like turn a little bit as it goes on the truck. I'm sorry, the truck as it goes slanted on the on whatever was left from the highway, and it just like feel it drop back down as the road kind of like gives way at the end. Everyone's fine, everything's okay, but as soon as you look forward, you realize that whatever highway and whatever countryside you used to see before, devastated and horrified by the miasma, you start seeing buildings and buildings pop up. They've all been destroyed, they've all been overtaken by nature, and some even have like strange pulsating organisms, like just kind of like growing out of some of the walls. And you soon realize that you're in Sevilla now. Tino, as you look around, you do notice one of those pulsating things just kind of like reach out to you. You feel like like something is trying to reach out to the van from inside the building, and as you blink away, the effect is gone. I'm gonna ask you to do a sudden dread check. That's a wisdom throw, without any proficiency if you were to have some.
Ooh, that's gonna be a 6.
That's a 6. Oofter. All right, so you kind of like stare at the effect that you saw, and eventually you see like this massive face come out of the wall, and like just look at you and scream, and then it just like disappears. I'm gonna have to ask you to add in your character sheet, add a 1 where you have miasma corruption. Let me know if you have any issues finding it. Okay.
Okay.
It's in your second page, I believe, at the bottom of your second page.
Shaman.
Yeah, the one with the wisdom.
The one with the wisdom. That's right.
Some who heals everybody.
Yeah. All right. Were you able to find it?
Yep.
Awesome. Just add where it says points. Add a 1.
Sure.
Excellent. All right. Okay. So as you go along, you Tatsuo, you notice that the road is starting to get like a lot more difficult to drive in. You don't need a what do you want to do as the road gets harder to traverse?
I think for just about all of our drives so far, Tatsuo hasn't really said a word. He's a pretty quiet guy.
All right.
Okay.
And so I think he finally kind of breaks that silence.
Okay.
And says, "We are running out of our path. Shall we continue, or would you prefer on foot?"
Well, so far you've been extraordinary at Tokyo drifting, so I would recommend keep on the truck. Especially because when things are so quiet, I don't know, something may be lurking around. Especially with so much debris and leftover cars and etc. I don't know, it feels weird. There's so much destruction, but no one around. I don't know, it might be dangerous. I mean, if we're going to take out of the car, we're just going to jump off. We should really look around first before we start walking. Not aimlessly, but just as if it was nothing. We should really, really scout the area if we're going to climb down the car.
As you say that, could you do a perception check, please?
Of course,
Andres.
I can. I've been wanting to do.
To play.
Yeah. Ah, damn! I did not perceive anything. It rolled a 6.
Yeah, no, you just see. I mean, the one thing that you do absolutely see though is a nearby sign, like a nearby road sign, that says República de Argentina.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we're not that
And it's a
far
pretty
from
big
this,
avenue, Adan. It's a pretty big avenue.
Fine.
We're not that far from this Renaissance outpost, or are we? I mean, it's closer than the location of the remnants, right? I'm asking you, Abdul, specifically.
Specifically.
Yes.
For the record, nobody has a map.
Oh. So you don't know.
From my recollection, we are kind of close. But
All right. Well,
I think we should decide, if you may allow me, boss, man/woman. I'm sorry, that was disrespectful.
Boss
I'm not
person.
your boss. Look, I'm not your boss.
Listen,
I'm
buddy.
just above you, but I'm not your boss.
I will find a way to get you fired, but I'm not your boss.
Yeah, I think we should decide if we want to see what's around the Renaissance outpost, because I mean, if they are unfriendly, it might. I don't know. I don't know if we are up to it. So, what do you guys think?
Do anyone here have a Renaissance contact, or at least a name we can say, so they won't shoot us on sight?
I do not.
No.
Unfortunate.
No,
Actually,
Well, neither do
Abdul, you should go ahead and do a perception check for me as well, please. I don't see a thing. 12. Awesome. Okay. Go back to my adventure. Yes. So as you as the car kind of slows down a little bit, you do notice that there seems to be a small store that's like wide open. Like it looks like a store at the very least. It's not. It's definitely not a house, right? There's a store at one of the corners, and you also notice a bus bench. Yeah, a bus stop. I'm sorry, a bus stop with a bench and other indicators of bus stops, in the opposite side of the street.
We should check it out. Maybe we should leave the
Mhm.
safety of the Tokyo
Vehicle.
and see,
Yeah.
see what's up.
I mean, as
We
long as
should
you have your wits
go.
about you, you should be fine. Can we at least
Yeah,
stop the car?
No, we'll just jump
there-
out of it.
Yeah.
Is there any signs of recent movement around the bus stop or the store?
Go ahead and roll survival for me, please, or investigation, whichever you want to do.
All right, that's gonna be a 4 for me.
All right. Listen, what you
Damn.
see is street, right? And perhaps the sky above you, dude.
So there's
Oh,
some
look at
grass.
that.
That's cool.
Actually, not the sky,
gonna-
because the sky is obscured by the miasma. So.
This is
I'm
kind
gonna.
of nice.
This bus stop is nice. I'm gonna investigate
All
the
right.
bench. I'm gonna investigate to see if there are scratchings or anything, like, I don't know, signs of struggle or
All right.
whatever.
Roll for it.
Mm.
Tatsuo is
Come
staying near the vehicle just in case.
It's just a 9.
A 9. All right.
As you can see.
The bench
Yeah,
itself
it's-
doesn't see doesn't say anything to you, but you do notice that the is it called a marquise? If it's in a no, that's for the cinema only. You do see that wherever yeah, I mean you see a map, right? A map of the city.
Okay.
Oh,
great.
It's obviously it's very old. It's been there's blood stains and mud stains and all other forms of horrible stains that you don't want to smell. But you do know that it has been scratched deliberately in certain spots. These spots are hold on. You can remove the map and you notice
Oh,
like scribbled. It's in some of the in one of the corners. You say sobrevivientes en Santa Cruz. Supervivientes en
survivors in
Santa
Santa
Cruz.
Cruz.
That depends.
Right.
Are you proficient in Spanish?
It will be
In another life, I was.
All right.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not.
All right,
So,
metagaming people. That's
but I
one.
have a need for languages, though.
If you share the information, Tino is proficient in Spanish.
Well, there you go.
Oh, right. Well, Tino, get a look at this. Check this map out.
All right.
Stop staring at the sky and check this map.
Focus, man. You you do
That's
see
the mask talking.
Dino, as you take the map, you notice that Santa Cruz is crossing the river. The map also has the wherever the bridges of Triana and Los Remedios, they've been like scratched out like by some like very smart whoever who was walking around there. You do know that Santa Cruz is across the river near Jardines de Murillo.
I don't know what that means.
No. Oh. As the voice in the sky, I don't either. As you read Jardines de Murillo, go ahead and do a history check for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a 19.
19, awesome. Okay. As you check the map and the name jumps out at you, you kind of remember. Well, you kind of make your own way as you check the names, right? You see Jardines de Murillo, and nearby, like just up north, not even crossing the street, you do see Santa Cruz, and then you remember there was a hotel there that was completely destroyed, at some point in the scuffle, whether in the evacuation or actually no, you remember specifically it was okay for a while, but then a report came and it said that the hotel had been completely destroyed.
Okay, I convey this information to my peers, and I let them know about the survivors in Los Remedios. I'm sorry, Santa Cruz.
All right, awesome. You know, as you show them the map, you see that there are a couple of ways to get through to both the park and Santa Cruz itself. You can take República Argentina, which will take you to Plaza de Cuba and will let you cross the street from the bridge of San Telmo, and will eventually get you to the park. You also notice that the bridge just south, while it is Bridge of Los Remedios, there are like some strange, like something has been written near that bridge, but you can't really make it out with it's been like faded out with time and just kind of like it's a small scribbling, so you don't really exactly know what's going on. As everybody else kind of like takes a gander at this map, you also see a strange marking exactly over the Catedral de Sevilla. But you instinctively know that not only is it not really connected to what's going on, even though it is close to Santa Cruz, the scribbling itself is so violent and so aggressively made that maybe it's a warning, right?
Okay. Well, my
Okay.
warrior spirit says that a warning clearly is a carry on sign, so we should probably go
check it out.
We should probably go check it out. I mean,
all right, what route are you guys taking?
Wall is not that sure he really wants to think about it, but Nefer is already there, so we're going.
All right. From the information given to you by this map, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to take a route? Do you want to like figure something out? The floor is yours.
If we can save some people, that's why we're here.
All right. But what path are you taking? I think that should be up to the pilot.
Yeah, well, actually,
Okay.
Tatsuo.
What were the
lighter.
what were the
hands.
2 routes again?
All right, so you can take the entirety of the República de Argentina Avenue, which goes like straight through the city. You do, however, remember that it's a pretty dangerous place. You could also challenge your luck and go to the Bridge of los Remedios and see what the scribbling is all about. It's a little to the south, but I mean, right?
Okay. And do we think that Tatsuo probably has come to the same conclusion that the scribbling is a warning?
The scribbling at the bridge is not a warning; it's actually just confusing. The warning is in the Catedral de Sevilla, which is north of the bridge. So I'm gonna do the worst map in the history of maps.
No worries.
Listen, I'm a writer, okay, not an artist.
That's okay.
Yeah.
See here.
What did I call this place? It was Clarita. Yeah.
Okay, that's whatever you decide is fine.
Okay.
It's not rush hour, so it's fine. Whatever way you want to take.
Yeah. I think because of the scribbles and whatnot, Tatsuo.
Are you guys able to see the stream on Twitch, players?
I am. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, because this is the worst map in the history of maps ever made by someone who is not a cartographer. Give it a second while it loads. This is the this is the cathedral. This is the avenue that takes you through to Santa Clarita Strait. And down here is the other bridge, which is just confusing notes. As confusing as my map.
Okay.
Also, chat on Twitch, can you hear the players all right? Because I think they may be a little low. I'm gonna boost you guys up.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Wizard Baker.
I think Tatsuo's gonna go for the bridge.
All right, for the confusing one or the avenue?
The confusing one.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. As into danger as he is, and as much as he'd like to go straight, he's also curious about the confusing stuff. So I'm thinking confusing option.
Excellent. All right. As you make your way through the like miasma-ridden streets, you're really focused on your driving. You're actually, yeah. You kind of find strange roads, not strange roads, just regular roads and alleyways that you know that you can like swivel through to make a quicker way to the bridge. But as you turn left into one of the alleys, you could swear that you can see your father on the street, right? Like with his suitcase and just everything that you remember so vividly from when you were young. Go ahead and do a wisdom check. No proficiencies. It's miasmic dread.
Okay. Ooh, that's gonna be bad. That's gonna be not good. We're really doing well on these corruption rolls tonight. Yeah, that's a 7.
Yeah, it's
You jump straight at him.
You that's your dad, all right. That's you clear as day, and you see him, and it's so clear and so bright and so vivid to you that you honestly you just have to stop the car and you make to kind of like to get out without taking your eyes off of him, and then like you kind of look to see what the like where the handle is because you're so confused by what you're doing, right? And then when you look up, your dad is like right here, and he's looking straight into your eyes, and he looks terrified. Like there's something horribly wrong with him before he just like he grabs his own face and starts pulling at it, and he disappears.
I immediately asked Tatsu, "What's wrong? You mean you stopped the car? What the heck?"
Good call. Nobody else saw that.
Are you okay?
Also, make sure that you.
Yeah, mark down one on corruption, right? Okay. Tatsuo is going to just give a slight shake of the head and say, I thought I saw an obstacle in the road. My apologies. And get back into the driver's seat and start the car and continue driving.
Awesome. All right, you start the car all over again, and you keep driving. At first, it's kind of weird, and like you don't speed right away, right? But you just keep it moving. As you like keep swerving through these streets that you don't really know, but you're kind of like making your way through, knowing full well where the map is. Whoever is holding the map is telling you where to go. Actually, who is holding the map?
I
Tino.
think I'm
The only
holding the map.
Spanish
Yep.
fluent.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Tino is holding the map. Perhaps the Axumite, both Axumites, go ahead and do a perception check, both of you.
Come on, Axumites.
Oh shit. I mean, tough
Wh-
luck.
Oh bleep. All right. You see a road. Everything's
Oh.
okay. What about you?
Let me see. What was it? Perception? Or-
Yeah.
Whatever. I rolled a 5. I
All right.
failed.
All right. It's all okay. Listen,
It's
you.
the rolls tonight. Are just-
The rolls tonight. Listen, that's what the game's all about, right?
Yeah.
And we are in France.
Yeah. Why
keep it
are
there,
we
right?
back in Iceland? Okay, so you don't really see anything. The roads seem pretty empty to you. And actually, Tatsuo, as you go along, you know that both you and Tino know that you're getting close to the bridge. But all of a sudden, you hear like right next to you, like some scratching, some hurried scratching that's really getting close to you, and yeah, Gogmagog appears right in front of you. I'm gonna show you guys what's up. This
Let's go.
yeah, go to the
Is it
stream, you
really?
guys.
Oh.
The actual gun.
Yeah, the actual Gogmagog, and it's just rushing because it heard some noise, right? And it just blasts away from one of the walls, and it just looks at you with both its heads. Like one of them is just looking around, all confused, not sure what the other one is doing, and the one with the tentacles just fixes its eye on the car and just charges at you. Go ahead and do a maneuver check for me, please.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay. All right. We're gonna do a maneuver check, and this is to like avoid the swiping limbs of Gogmagog,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
To avoid dying altogether.
All right.
This guy has 2 hits, just like me.
Hey.
Will you look at that?
Okay.
So much in common.
Look at that.
Oh, that was really good.
We're getting
Yeah.
22s all night on maneuver checks. That's great.
Let's go.
Yeah, you see it right away, and you see that it's basically trying to T-bone you, right? But as soon as it's about to like just hit you, you fully stop the car. The creature kind of like loses its balance. It just like topples to the side and falls. It has, however, made a huge impact on all of you. So go ahead and every single one of you do a miasmic dread check, please. Where are my monster stats?
Come
That's part
on.
2.
I got a 1. Can you believe this?
Oof!
Man, I'm gonna
Natural
die.
1.
Gonna go crazy. Be ready. You're going to be wearing the mask next.
Nice.
And done. How are you guys looking?
Yeah.
All right, that's a 1 for you. What about everybody else?
That's an 8 from Tino.
1 point.
What was that, Adam? Microphone.
6.
6. All right. Wow.
Oh,
What about you, Tatsuo?
I think I got the first
The first
like,
solid check.
first solid dread check tonight. We got a 13 right here.
All
I've
right.
got no wisdom, so that still might fail. I don't know, but it's a 13.
That's a nice 13. You died too, though. But
Yeah. Alrighty. Let me just refresh on the names. Wole and Nefer, you are stuck in a panic. There's no training in the world could have prepared you for this at all. At least not so suddenly, right? So you're gonna get two straight points for corruption.
2. Okay.
Yeah. Where is? Here we go. Actually, everybody failed it because this is a big creature,
Oh
right?
no!
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the only one who is in like some serious trouble right now is who is actually panicking is the Ophan, right? Like it's not because you were so sure that things were fine, and all of a sudden you have this huge monster right in your face, right? Especially a monster that everybody knows from training should probably take on like 5 more of you at the very least in order to bring down. Yeah.
At
So
least with
Okay.
Karen,
and
still.
so everyone has
try.
marked their thing. It's you're kind of like bringing back your composure. And Tatsuo, yeah. Kind of like after breaking the car and seeing what the creature is doing, you see that it's using its massive limbs to like get back up. And the calls that it's doing, it seems to be making a bigger mess around you guys. Like it's not just this guy, but you can hear some other creatures coming in from behind you.
Okay.
Okay.
It's time
Okay.
to settle.
Before you make your
Yeah,
check,
Tatsuo's just.
it's,
Sorry,
yeah,
you were saying before
that's
before
okay.
I make my check.
Before you make your check, Tino, go ahead and roll for intelligence. Just just the ability.
Okay, sure. That's gonna be a 10.
All right, good 10. All right, so go ahead and do your whatever you were gonna do, Tatsuo, as you kind of like fumble with the map, Tino. Tino, you notice that there is a very clear route to take if you guys want to go straight to the bridge. Whatever goes on, you're really close, and there's like you communicate this route to Tatsuo.
All right, that's why I think this is way over our heads. So I think we should really go right now.
Yeah, let's just run.
Tatsuo nods and says agreed, and just like shifts back
Yeet.
into first gear and takes off as
Already
fast
knew.
And oh, should we?
I don't know. Maybe we can take him.
Yeah.
Maybe we can take. No,
Here,
we're
here, here.
leaving.
I know what it is. I don't want to go there again.
All right. As you guys swerve, actually, Walla and Nefer, you kind of like talk to each other in order to like center yourself as the car like speeds along, right? Dodging all sorts of like destruction on the road. Kind of like look around yourself and see that one of the buildings that's coming up, it's just one of the top parts, like an entire set of stories, is kind of just hanging by a thread, and maybe it can be like destroyed by some means and help you in some way. Um, in the meantime, Abdul, uh, you also see ahead that the bridge that was supposed to be destroyed is actually fine. Go ahead and do a miasmic dread, please, for me.
12.
12.
Yeah,
All right.
no, no.
Yeah, you just kind of like look ahead and yeah, it looks okay. Maybe the reports were wrong. All right. Well, what goes on? What are you guys doing?
I tell the rest, check the top of that building. Maybe somehow we can throw this thing and, I don't know, make a blockade or a barricade, or at least buy some time. I don't know.
You know that you'd have to do it like as you guys are moving. So maybe check what kind of like what kind of stuff you guys are carrying, or what kind of powers you can do for this.
Have a
Oh,
range
that's
or a superpower.
What was that, Andres?
Wait a second, I have a light gun.
You do have light gun.
Maybe. Okay, maybe I can gunsling this one out. Okay, so it's a thread. You say what? How thick a thread?
How thick a what?
How thick the thread is? If I shoot
Um,
this thing, will it fall?
It's well, it was the expression of hanging by a thread, but you know that you can see that the materials that make up this building, I don't know, the brick is still hanging on, but maybe if you
Okay.
push it just right, or if you pull it just right, you can make sure that the whole thing comes down, and the beams and all that stuff. Where
Okay.
are my? Here you go. Let's check out.
Okay, the gunshot may lure these beasts, but then again, they are already there. So,
Yeah,
what do you guys think? Should I shoot this thing or not?
if by lure mean that they're gonna see you, they've already seen you.
Yeah, they're already there. We're just trying to buy a little bit of time. I'm gonna shoot.
All right, what
Do
are you
it,
gonna shoot
do
Yeah,
it.
with?
go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm asking you. I'm gonna shoot. Wall is
Do it.
asking. But Pepper is
Also,
already trigger, so
yeah. Also, check your powers though. You do have
Oh.
access to powers.
oh yeah, it says right here. I can demolish buildings at will.
Teleport home, sure thing.
Well, I do have a light blast.
All right, what does your light blast do? Did I give you
Because
the information?
If the attack hits, it deals 2d8 radiant damage. I don't know if it's an explosive hit. It's more like a radiant kind of
Well,
shot.
it would probably be better than a bullet.
I was trying to
It's,
say something else, but yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm light blasting. Yes.
All right.
I'm
If you
light-
want to use this power, like since this is a special situation, the power does cost 1. Since like you like I was helping you out right now, right? Since we're trying to have fun, like see how kind of like the system works, it would usually cost 2 action points to make sure that it like expands the range. But since it's the first time that you're doing the powers, like it's just gonna cost 1 of your action points, okay?
All right.
However,
So
I will want you to do a ranged power attack roll. That's your d20, and I'm looking at your sheet plus 5.
Okay, d20 plus 5. Cross your fingers.
Come
Look at that, a
on,
6.
Nefer and
Oh,
Wooly.
I got an 18.
Will you look at that? All right.
Hey, let's go.
23.
All right.
Destroyed. No.
Well, I mean, you absolutely do know what's going on, right? So like, you look up from the rearview mirror, Tetsuo, you can see the mask of this of your peer. Just kind of like look outside the window, and you see the like one of his hands like start shaking and making a little bit of noise, and then it just like lets out a blast, just cuts through the brick. You absolutely step on it, and you see the building start like collapsing in front of you guys. It's kind of like where there used to be a full rectangle with a bit of a cut, it just like dips down and starts just sliding your way into the street. Go ahead and do a maneuver check for me.
Yeah, token
Hey.
drift. Come on.
Come on, come on. Please. Oh yeah.
All
That's
right.
a natural 20.
Nat
So
20, what up?
24.
Okay, awesome. All right.
I don't know. I don't know where
yeah,
Tatsuo
Nat 20,
learned how to drive, but holy cow.
Obviously Japan. Because he's Japanese.
Obviously.
So right, yeah, you see what's going on, you step on it, you kind of swerve a little bit. That nat 20 is actually going to give you an extra action if you want to use it ahead. Just let me resolve this first, right? You also see in your rearview mirror after the action happened how the building just falls on the Gogmagog that was following behind you, right? And like it stops in its tracks, and whatever the debris that results from the damage, it just makes the noise from the creatures behind you stop for a moment. As you look ahead, you see the bridge, and you get a better sense of what's going on. The bridge has been actually rebuilt, but it doesn't look like it can actually hold the car itself. Like it's been rebuilt with some wood, like some wooden planks to help people cross. It has been reinforced, but not necessarily to take bigger loads, mostly just to keep creatures at bay. However, the bridge does seem empty of any people that you may notice. So what's next? Actually, I'm gonna hold the nat 20 that you had just now, and we'll see what's up later. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. And just to make sure, the road, like, it doesn't diverge or anything else. As far as the road's concerned, all there is just the road into this bridge, into the road after.
There
right?
is a way to go both up north and south on the like on the river, like the river drive. You
Okay.
do notice up north, Yeah, there's some silhouettes of creatures just like flying around and like making noises and horrible. They haven't noticed you yet. And then south, there's just nothing. Like there's it is not inhabited, but you do get to see the shape of another bridge that collapsed down south.
Okay. Tatsuo, as they're approaching the bridge, is going to say to Tino, is there an approach that we can make from the south, or is the bridge the fastest way?
Is there any way to say that safely with the map?
Yeah, you know that the bridge is probably your best bet right now.
Right. Yeah, I think the bridge is the way to go right now.
Okay. Tatsuo's just gonna. I mean, Tatsuo literally has a lead foot, right? Because he's in a robo suit, so he's gonna act accordingly and just floor the gas and drive straight for the bridge.
Awesome.
And if it collapses, hopefully we'll get enough air to make it to the other side. And if it stays up, it stays up.
All right, that's I like what you're trying. So let's do a maneuver check. Do it with advantage, not only because you're acting according to your character, but also because I really want to see how this happens.
Okay. All right, so the first roll is a 3.
Right.
And the second roll is an 8.
Okay.
Which is a 12. 12 total.
Right, but it is like a reinforced bridge that, as you saw from before, it was not going to hold up, right? So you step on it, everybody protests. Everyone's like, no, please do not. This is the stupidest idea you could have ever had. But you're not listening, man. You're just like, let's go for this. You step on it, and you feel at first that, yeah, things are fine, right? Like it's you broke through the first barrier, and the car is fine. But then as you go through the wood, you just start like feeling the car like fall and topple over. And everybody sees like just the nose of the car dip, and you just hold on for dear life. Everybody do a dexterity save.
I hold my mask.
All right, 13. That's plus your dex save, then, or check if you're. No, it's fine. Just do the math after.
This is bad. I got a 4 on the dex save.
Yeah, I got a 4 as well.
Tino got a 9.
A 9. All right. Yeah, I think the only one who passed this was then. What was your total, Adan?
10.
13. No modifiers.
14.
14. All right. Yeah, you just barely passed it. Everybody else just the car just dips and just dives into the rock below. The rock and garbage and all the stuff that's been blocking the river for this long, right? You're absolutely wet, and also you guys are hurt. I'm gonna go ahead and do the damage. Everybody except for Adan is hurt, who just like braced onto the car with with whatever believe they had for himself. That's gonna be an 8 damage from like just the impact. It does take away from your damage reduction, so keep that in mind.
Okay. So, just to make sure that I'm marking that down right, because
Yes.
I have a damage reduction of 6, does that mean I only take 2 damage?
That is correct.
Okay. And does damage reduction stay, or have I used up my 6 points of damage reduction?
No, damage reduction stay for the rest of the adventure, unless you change your armor.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's still nice damage reduction. Mine's only 2, so.
It's better than full 8, though.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
physically.
That's what I get for being in a literal like tank, you know? Just, yeah.
All right, as you guys kind of like as you guys kind of like shake off the impact, you guys look around. What was that?
Okay. No, we're just fooling around.
All right.
So we're down under right now. I mean, are we? The river still flowing, or is it dry? Or I mean, you said we were soaked, so.
You're not necessarily soaked. You are. Okay, so the river has been impacted from like a blockade from upriver, right, up in the up inland. But it does have some running water. You're not submerged in any way. Mainly because as you look around, you see a lot of like corpses and garbage and just like the debris from other like from when the bridge collapsed itself. Also, you see like there's skeletons of people just like scattered around from the damage that happened before. Um, you shake off the clearly incoming concussion, and you just see this like the wall ahead of you is probably scalable. Uh, is that a word? Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's rough terrain around you with all of these the dead people from long before from the evacuation, and probably some monster that was destroyed and was left behind. Uh, you all actually see like some in between like the eye socket of some person that was like down there. There's like a small hand just kind of like trying to make its way up. Do you remember Deadpool when the hand was like trying to a little bit like a baby hand, just kind of like
Yeah,
forming itself and like trying to cling on to something. It is horrible. It's a shocking thing to see. But honestly, after the hit, it's the least of your concerns right now. It's miasmic. It's what the miasma does anyway. Um, the car, however, as you look back at it, is not looking super good.
all right. Well,
Please give your Uber driver 5 stars on your review.
I offered water when you got in, okay?
a bit wet, but overall,
Yeah. As you guys look around you,
Tatsuo's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
all right, yeah. As you guys look around you, the river south, like while the river was interrupted before, you can see that the river south of you does get a little bit of health back, but not necessarily because of from the incoming water, just because of the incoming water, but like from the whatever was like left before, right? And you can see that whatever water is coming from upstream is enough to continue the river downstream, just not in this area where you guys were, and enough to like have probably a boat if necessary afterwards.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Tatsuo is gonna kick the door open, and wherever that like head with the child hand is, like the child hand wriggling out of it, he's just gonna take his lance and crush that really quick.
Right, smart idea.
And then he's gonna walk over to like the wall, the scalable wall, and just position himself as if he's ready to hoist everyone up the wall.
All right.
So that we can keep going.
Awesome.
all right. After seeing all this in deep silence, Wole Nefer just approaches Tatsuo and says, "I'm glad we're on an agreement." Forces himself to start climbing as well.
All right. I'm gonna need an athletics check from you, well enough.
Yep.
Is everybody else gonna do the same thing? Because you should probably do athletics check.
You get a 3. I really.
Your
Yes, I
app
follow.
hates you, dude.
Yeah, I delay this. Let's find another one.
All right. So all right, you hoist yourself up. You start kind of climbing, but then you start slipping and you just fall down to the floor. You're gonna have to be the last one to climb right now. Okay. You're not necessarily hurt.
Can I catch Wole Nefer when they fall?
Absolutely for free. Yeah, you just catch
since I'm
them.
there to like.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean,
That
you
way
did
they
just
don't
like
like
push them
fall
up, right?
back into the river. I just like catch them a little bit, set them down,
Yeah.
turn to help one of the others like climb up the wall.
Awesome. If Aldo and Moy are gonna do the same thing, just go for athletics, please.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
As Tino is getting out of the car and watching Tatsuo crush the little hand, I want to say to him, that's not very wise, messing with the death, but everyone has their ways. And after that, I'm gonna make a check, an athletics check, and it's a natural 20.
Look at you. You just climb like it's your second nature. You're up there. Like maybe having Tatsuo there was not really necessary, dude. You're up. Actually,
I got. Yes.
I should have accounted for Tatsuo, because what you're doing is basically helping, and I should have given you guys
Yeah.
advantage. Yeah, that's fair. It's a good thing that you didn't get any damage, Wole and Nefer, because we can
Yeah.
Okay.
we can all pretend that this never happened, except for whoever clips what just happened on Twitch.
Great, because I already hate my life. Both of them.
Good.
Don, what did you get?
I get a total 3, so
roll again because you are being helped.
right. 12. No,
Okay.
total 14.
14. All right, yeah, you get to climb up. Like you get the help you can get from Tatsuo, and you just start climbing up. The both of you, as you get to the top of the wall, you see that there once used to be a building right across the street and north from you. So you're up. You're in like what little grass that still survives from what used to be a park, and you see the end of the bridge that collapsed at some point before, that was trying to be that was supposed to be reinforced. And across the street, you see just the buildings have all been destroyed in a myriad of ways. Tino, you do know from what you recall from the building that if you go through where the destruction is, you'll get to the park.
All right, guys. It seems that we are on our way. Tatsuo, we are not probably gonna get there by car right now, but
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, at this stage, man.
You're like the most reliable of all of us, so lead the way.
Yeah. All right, everybody's up at this point. And yeah, all right. So you're just gonna go through, right?
Mm.
Awesome. All right, so
So,
you keep moving forward, and it's a bit of rough terrain, but nothing you cannot handle. You can't, however, be too quiet because of just how much debris there is and on the floor, right? And how like just the state of the spot. But you do notice that given the right, like this can be traversed by basically anyone. So maybe you should remember that. I'm gonna make a note of this just so you guys also remember it when the time comes.
It will come.
Oh yes.
it will.
Okie dokie. All right, you guys just keep walking, and eventually you get to a bit of like a wall, that's a fence. I'm sorry. You get to a fence that surrounds a garden, right? And it's weird to see the state that it's in, because unlike the rest of the things you've seen so far in the miasma, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty well. Like, not completely destroyed as everything else you've seen. And as you get closer, you do see a sign that a little bent and oxidated, and it does say Jardines de Murillo.
We made it.
Tu Jardines de Murillo, yeah. All right. Are you guys gonna? What are you guys gonna do?
Yeah, proceed.
I through perception.
Climb over.
First of all, I want to see if I can see someone or something
Okay.
nearby.
While he's doing that, Tatsuo's already climbing over the fence or going through the fence, because I guess that's the kind of person he is.
All right.
He just doesn't care. Okay. 18, 21.
You see that a couple of feet left of where Tatsuo just climbed the fence, there's an actual opening where you can walk through. But hey, you did what your heart told you to do, dude. You also notice that as you walk closer into the park, into the gardens, the miasma seems to grow a little bit thicker. Nothing to be worried about yet, as far as you can remember, but certainly something to keep an eye out on.
Can I throw a history check or something related, something like that? to know if this is a known phenomena, if there's something we know that happens when the
That
miasma thickens or something
that
like that?
should be an Eldritch check. It's also
Okay,
intelligence, but it's in case you have proficiency.
I don't think I'll know anything about it. Roll an 8.
That's a pretty normal thing that happens sometimes.
Yeah, thickness just happens.
Nothing too crazy. Nothing
Yeah.
too crazy.
The best part about mastering games is that you don't have to tell people whether they succeeded or not.
Played you know.
But for the record, it was a pretty simple check, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
Or should you? From your perception check from before, you do notice a couple of things scattered on one of the pathways from the park, right? So, I'm gonna make another map from my utter ignorance from what Sevilla actually looks like and from what Jardines de Murillo actually looks like. So the park looks kind of like this. There is a path that goes kind of like straight, but also like turns a little bit. There's also a couple of others of other paths that go around, right? Eventually up here, where there's like this big opening, it opens up into an avenue. I'm not sure why I'm narrating it as I'm drawing it, because you can't see what I'm drawing. But yeah, eventually the path opens a little bit wider up here, and what you see, Walla, is that across this path, the path that starts from back here and like seems to go straight, there are a couple of markings that were set there by an unknown persons, but you do know that there's a little bit of color, and there is the following sign marked on some of the things. It'll pop up in a second. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and whoever wants to identify this symbol, go ahead and do an Eldritch check or a history check.
Can we all do it?
Yeah,
or
if you
just
want.
one of us.
Yeah, it's let's do it. Make it a group check. See if you guys
Who is
make
the
it.
intelligent one here?
Sure. It's a 15 from Tino.
All right, that's pretty good.
17 from Abdul.
Look at you.
I got
I guess.
All right.
10.
Okay. Well, it was a success anyway. You know from what you've studied since your recruitment that these markings are usually placed by remnants, not necessarily as markers from where they are, but the places that they deem safe. Unfortunately, you also know that sometimes they are used to kind of like mark presence of hostile remnants. It's still a work in progress what Minerva knows in general about this symbol, but you do know that it's usually put there by remnants.
Okay.
Guess this is when we find out.
I guess so.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Is there any to tell if these markings are old or they're fresh? Or do I throw survival?
They don't. I'll just give it to you. They don't seem too old.
Okay.
But they weren't put here yesterday. Like it's just.
Okay.
Yeah. As you guys
So
could
any survivors maybe gone by now or dead.
probably.
So.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Okay.
That's some hairy.
It's just like moving up. I think also, like, since there's the possibility that hostiles could be here, Tatsuo's going to put away his lance and take out his SMG just as preparation and, like, prime his, like, shoulder-mounted gun as well.
On that note, do you guys want to make it a stealthy stroll?
Want to, but I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right.
Just
So.
agree.
I don't think there's anything stealthy about Tatsuo.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Listen, if a paladin can make a successful stealth check, I'm pretty sure that Tatsuo can do it too. It's hard,
okay.
but it can happen.
22 on the stealth check by Tatsuo.
Look at that.
Oh my God.
not only
Yeah,
keeping his feet quiet, but also his peers.
19.
All right, pretty good.
You were like, what? Where is Tatsuo?
Right?
All 13.
I mean, everybody just
And
like,
rise up behind you and just say shh.
oh
And then
my
just
wamo,
continue
shinderu.
And that's gonna be a 7 from Tino.
But listen,
So-
it was a group check, so everybody succeeded. You guys start
Oh,
like
great.
walking a little bit quieter and just like really like calculating your steps as you go through the gravel, right? What used to be a beautiful road for a beautiful promenade where people could just walk and have a beautiful Sunday is now just gravel that can be very noisy. So you're really trying to not make any noise. As you move forward, you notice how the plants that used to look so well start to decay little by little, and one of you, where is my stream? Here it is. Abdul, you hear like right next to you, you hear Abdul, come here. Go ahead and do and you look around. There's no one there. But you still hear it. You can still absolutely hear someone calling out your name, really close to you. So go ahead and do a miasmic dread check, please. Good. All right. You just kind of like look around. You remember that this is something that usually happens, so you just keep moving, right? And
Like the simulations.
yeah, it happens, right? And then after a moment, everybody just like you just notice something. You notice scuttling ahead of you, so you stop. From that check, you see. I mean, not even a check. It's just something you see. Go ahead and go to your stream so you see what you can see. You see a couple of deer and does just kind of like scuttle about. One of them actually stops to like chew on something that's on the floor. Just it tears it apart. It looks bloody, but it can't possibly be like blood and actual guts because these are still herbivores. But as you see them, you remember that these are pretty common creatures. These are some of the animals that were, like, since they had no idea that the miasma was coming in, like they were trapped in here and they were corrupted by these creatures. And you know that where there's a deer and where there's doe, there's usually a hell stag going on nearby. The huge creature at the bottom, at the middle of the image. Go ahead, everybody, do another miasmic dread check, please.
And really quick, Bernardo.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many points of dread were we supposed to take from failing the Gog and Magog earlier? Because I think I missed that.
It should have been just the one, except for Andres, who should have taken 2 because of this natural one. Okay, so that's 14 from Andres.
I do have a question.
Yeah, I got 14.
I'm sorry. I have a question. Does the power blood feeling affect these kind of saves?
Blood feeling. Let me check it out. I was 18. I think you guys are pretty much in the clear. Let me see the shaman. Because while I did help write this game, I did not build the mechanics, and I don't know them by heart. Blood. What was the name? Blood feeling. A bonus action. Give yourself advantage on wisdom checks with skills you're proficient in. No, that's only for checks like medicine or perception or survival and stuff like that.
All right. So it's gonna be a 13.
13. All right. Let me just cross check what kind of horror you guys are in. Yeah, everyone's
Quick
fine.
question.
Yeah.
Could I kind of spam lay on hands to heal the party very quick?
Sure.
Costs 0 action points.
It does. However,
I mean, it's just my.
It does
It takes some time
cost
to cool
0.
down or something like that.
No, it's actually pretty quick, but usually powers target only one creature. If you wanted to target everyone around you, you would have to spend the action point.
Okay. So, I don't know who's really feeling down. It hurt.
I've only
If anyone-
I'm only
if
2
it-
hit points down.
Okay. Well, if anyone needs it, I can heal a little bit, but just let me know.
All right.
Sure.
From
Can
what
I
you're
use lay on hands on myself?
absolutely, that's 0 hit points.
Okay, then that's the first thing I'm gonna do because I
Awesome.
took a really hard fall.
Yeah. Curing curing powers don't actually take away any of your miasmic corruption. Just as a note,
Yeah,
I know that that's what you were trying to do. Yeah. Okay. So you notice these creatures, and you remember like everyone's fine. Everyone remembers these creatures from training and from literally any book that speaks about the miasma. And just remember that they're a natural creature. That as long as you don't mess with them, the Hellstag should not really mess with you either. And in time, they just like finish their business and carry on towards the rest of the of Sevilla. Well, unless you
Within his
guys wanted to
armor-
attack it.
nah.
Say we let it be.
They're majestic
I-
as they are. Just let's let them be.
Wow.
I think within his
Majestic is
armor,
not the word that I.
Some
they're
majestic tentacles.
they're creepy. They're creepy.
Yeah.
let 'em be.
That's it.
Uh,
Creepy and
We all have tastes,
horrifying.
okay?
That's fair. Behind the large toothed and horned mask of his armor, Tatsuo is going to grimace at the sight of these things,
All right.
but will then shake his head and move on without doing anything.
Aw. Okay. All right. No, that's really cute. Thank you for this. All right. The creatures just scuttle away, and you guys, my stream is super slow. I think just your oh no, everyone's fine. Yeah, I thought I was having some lag with my call. I'm sorry. All right. So the creatures scuttle away, and as you walk forward, you reach this clearing where every single piece of nature has just like whittled and died, right? Like whatever facade was trying to happen before, it's gone now. It's all been completely ravaged again, and you get a good bearing of where you guys are. With your passive perceptions, without having to throw anything, to roll anything, you do know that you do notice that north of you, there used to be a plaza that was just decimated by maybe a monstrous attack. From what you remember, it wasn't attacked during the evacuation, so it must have happened like afterwards. And you do notice in one of the buildings south of you, there seems to be light in one of the windows.
Eerie light or regular light?
Go ahead and throw survival for me, please.
Oh, I had to go and ask. No, I rolled a natural one.
Oh, it's light, all right. It's actually
Okay.
you. Yeah, it's just light, dude.
I was looking at light,
the
and
light
now I'm
that's-
blind.
Don't look at the sun, which you cannot
Yeah.
see inside of the miasma because it's fog. All right.
It's just not even an option.
Yeah. You just have to roll really poorly.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Don't
yeah.
worry, you're not blinded. It was just a bit of a fumble. Okay, what do you guys do?
I mean, I think Tatsuo is going to look at everybody else, and then without saying anything, is going to start slowly moving toward the light. Despite all the times that he's heard people tell him not to go toward the light.
Right.
And,
Like a moth.
just
Yeah, we're talking
Yeah,
more about
exactly.
Armored moth.
All right.
holding his SMG very tight and priming his shoulder cannon.
Yeah, I think
The
I'm gonna
yokai storm.
Okay, I
put
would
my
like
hand
to-
on my light gun as well. Just
I
you know,
would like
prepare
to
for the
know
worst.
I grip my light sword pretty tight as I
if
saw everyone else
it's
and start
natural
walking.
light
Awesome.
or a eerie glow.
Go ahead and roll a survival check for me, please. Actually, what would be your passive survival, Moy? That's 10 plus modifier.
That's gonna be 13.
13?
Yep.
All right, I can just give it to you. It's not an eerie glow. It's definitely put there by someone. And if you want to check further, like you can go ahead. But from what you can tell from your spot, it looks like candlelight.
Oh.
Oh, all right, guys. I think some of the remnants can be there. So, would you like to check it out?
Yeah, we should definitely go.
It wasn't the
That's
Hellstag,
why we're
right?
here. Yeah, that's
It was
whole
not the
plan.
Hellstag. No, the Hellstag went north.
Yeah.
The Hellstag went into a house and lit a candle, thinking
Yeah.
surely they'll come now.
Because they have to cook salad. Yeah, exactly.
Other problems, right?
And if that fails, I'll start talking.
All right, you guys
Okay.
start approaching the building, and as you reach the end of the park and you get to the road, you can't really hear it. Well, actually, you do hear a very deaf kind of like a pff, and something crashes in front of you, like a small bullet crashes in front of you. And you guys look up and you see a woman behind a rifle at the top of on one of the windows. Like, what do you want? She says this in Spanish, but I think you can translate. Yeah. ¿Qué quieren?
You know.
We get the gist of it.
Everybody except
Yeah.
Mason. I'll just move to English. But know in your heart that this is Spanish.
She's not reading us, right? So
It's not a
who's
greeting.
who's the smooth talker here, guys?
It's not me. I've got a +1 in charisma, so if we really need somebody, maybe. But I'm not a smooth talker.
I can't even speak Spanish.
What about you, Tino?
I can.
Actually, it would have to be Tino.
But I'm
Yeah,
not,
you should-
I'm not a smooth talker
Yes.
whatsoever.
Are that really is your modifier negative?
No.
Then our hands are tied, buddy.
Nah, at this point we've failed at many different checks.
This is
Come
true.
on, just have a go.
Have a go.
Yeah. Just try it.
I mean, you're
You're a
still,
pacifist,
So-
man.
you can
This
try
is you.
just
This one's
regular
you.
talking,
Yeah.
and if you need to make a roll, I'll let you know if you need to make a roll. Okay?
Sure. All right. I talked to her in Spanish, so we are here to help you out.
Help us out. Why? Are you guys? Are you with the people in the cathedral?
No, we come from a different place, but we really want to help you out. So please let us in, and maybe we can talk a little bit more.
A different
in a
place. What?
safe place.
What does that even mean? Where do you come from?
Where do we come from, guys?
You
I
guys are
asked
Minerva
Tino,
agents.
Is
Minerva.
everything okay?
Minerva.
It sounds like
In a
it's getting a
Minerva
little
mission
rough. Is everything okay?
So
get
you,
people out of here.
We come from New Zealand, right? Or something like
from
that, right?
Iceland, yeah. As you mentioned,
Iceland,
Minerva,
Iceland.
her grip like loosens, and she's like, so
Oh, okay.
so you're with them. Good. All right, I'll let the other people know, okay? And she puts her weapon down, and she turns to go, but then she stops cold. And it doesn't really take a genius to know what's going on. There's like you can see from street level all the way up to her for like the second story of the building. You can see how a chill runs down her spine, right? And she just kind of turns around, and she's like, "Okay, everybody be calm. Don't make any sudden moves. It should be okay. We just need to let it pass." As you guys turn around, you see a strange silhouette in the distance. It's you can tell there's legs to it. You can tell that it far away it looks a little bit taller than a person, but it's crouching down. It's kind of like moving all weird. It's kind of like twitching as it moves in the distance. And even though it's not super close to you, you can tell it's this shape. Look at your stream. And as soon as you recognize these things, you know that that she's absolutely right, that you have to keep it together if ever you need to keep it together. This is when. Go ahead and do another dread save. Is it?
Okay. 16
All right.
plus something.
17, all right. All right. With
7 from Tatsuo.
do you have any modifiers for
No.
wisdom?
I do not.
with-
I have.
That's a full 7, all right.
Yeah, I have no wisdom modifier, and then there's my
Oh.
background gives me +2 to wisdom saving throws, but unless I'm mistaken, those don't apply
No,
to
alright.
this, right?
And Moy, what
I
did you
got
get?
16 plus 3.
All right, you guys are safe, but Moy, what did you get?
17.
17. All right, everybody's fine, except for like everybody remembers that from your training as well. You know that there's this one creature in the miasma that they call the Legate, and you can see why, right? And you know that it usually is fine. It usually keeps to itself, unless it feels fear nearby. And just as you remember this, Tetsuo, you just freeze. Like everyone's trying to stay as cool as possible, but you just freeze. There's nothing that you can do. You can feel all those fears you used to have as a child, like just from walking in darkness and from when you couldn't find your parents. They just flood straight at you. And as soon as they do, you can see its head just kind of like turn toward your general direction. Just it can't really fix on you with eyes, but it does look straight at where you guys are. And it turns. And as it gets closer, you hear the crackling of bones. It's kind of like and it's moving straight for you. And I'm gonna have to ask you guys to roll for initiative. I'm gonna roll for the girl at the tower. Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
The first one, 18 plus
also
3, 21.
That's why you
Yeah.
roll with disadvantage because you called it towards you.
Okay.
Well, what was that?
No!
And then it's at the end.
19 from
Roll
Tino.
twice.
Tino
Yeah.
19. And what was yours,
A
Walla?
9. With disadvantage, I got a 9.
All right, that's a 9.
Sorry.
Walla, what was yours? Andres?
21
21. All right.
total.
Oh, look at you. And all right.
The only time what to die first. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're up first, Waller.
Okay. So as I see this thing crawling towards Tatsuo, I just know we're gonna have to fight it out. So yeah, I'm gonna light blast it, just
Light
like
blast.
I did with the building.
All right, it's a little bit far away from you, so now it's gonna cost a little bit more.
Oh. Okay. Well, I have two. I have 2 points left. So will I
You
expend?
use them
both
for
of
them? Yeah, you expend both of them.
Okay.
And roll to hit.
Yep. Just let me see. All right.
Also, Tetsuo, since you
Come
failed
on.
your dread save, go ahead and mark it in your character sheet.
I got
Yeah.
14.
14. You hit.
Does this one get a proficiency or hit? Okay.
It depends. Yeah, it's your to hit already accounts for your dexterity modifier, or well, actually your. All right, I'm gonna go all the way back. If you're using your powers, it already counts for your ability and your proficiency. The same for your weapons. It
Okay.
already accounts for proficiency if you have proficiency on it.
Okay.
All right, so that's a hit. Yeah. I think
Great.
that's 2d8, right?
Yep. 2d8. So let me just change this. All right. So the first one. The first one is an 8.
Alrighty.
The second
8
one.
plus.
Okay, 8 and 4.
Okie dokie.
And both get radiant damage. And here attacks is Well, in power field says attack +5. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, that's the modifier to hit, but you had already.
Okay,
hit.
I took it hit.
Um,
So I don't know if it's get.
that
if
was
it
a
gets any
8
bonus or
8 and 6, right? No,
8 and 4.
8 and 4.
So 12.
All right. Okay. You absolutely hit it, and you see the lightning streak just like scratch at its back, but it doesn't seem to mind. It's just like going straight for Tetsuo. Like he wants to eat the fear. Then Dino, you're up.
Okay, so Tatsuo is in any way paralyzed, charmed, or any kind of.
That entirely depends on how many miasma corruption points you have, Tetsuo. How many do you have?
I have 3 at this point.
Right. Let me just check something out here. All right. 3, I think you're fine. Hold up.
He thinks.
It's got to check a table, okay?
Hopes. Tatsuo desperately hopes.
You're still okay. You're still kind of seeing things that aren't there, but you're fine. Yeah, you just pull yourself back together, even though you were afraid. You're not anymore, but the legate is already looking for you. But yeah, no, he's not paralyzed. Dino, what do you do?
Okay, right now I'm gonna use 1 blood and make all of my allies gain temporary hit points equal to my proficiency bonus.
Which is, I think it's for your wisdom, correct? That's a
That's right.
+3. So everybody has 3 temporary hit points.
Right.
That's an action, correct? That was 1 blood. Okay, so spend your 2 action points, please.
Yeah, sure.
And I think, does it say that it impacts everybody? All your allies. Yeah, you're good. Just the 2 hit points. Just 2 action points. Okay. And that was an action. All right. You can hear from the building that the girl just like put her rifle down and just ran into the building. You don't know really a lot from her just now, but you can tell that she's like shifting stuff around and calling out to people in Spanish like muévanse, abran. Un piernudo llegó, abran, por favor. Tatsuo, you're up.
Okay, sounds good. I think Tatsuo, having felt that fear like well up in him, now feels like rage begin to pile up because like nothing should make him afraid.
Right.
He should stand in the face of all of this without a single hesitation.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, he's just gonna bust out his big gun immediately and go with the Yokai Storm.
Awesome. And you're gonna try to hit?
The fireworks are coming.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
It is in range, so go ahead. Roll
Okay, sounds good. No, the fear got to him. He rolled a 3 + 4. That's 7.
Yeah, it does not hit. You just start shooting and like all willy-nilly, and it's like, well, but do you shoot once or do you want to like? Well, I mean, it's a bit late to decide this, but since we're using weapons, I'm gonna just say that you shot the one time. Ranged weapons in Eldritch Century, and this goes for chat as well. Certain weapons have the ability to burst. That is just like throw out all of your ammo and like use the next turn to reload. However, all other weapons have a number that's called reload. When you what that means is the amount of times you have to shoot before you have to spend a turn reloading. Right now you just shoot the one time, but know that your Yokai Storm allows for you to just spend all of your ammo and do a little bit more damage in a wider area with a burst. Okay.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Any other actions? Any movement or anything else?
Let's see here. I think after having done that, he's going to, if I can, he's going to put away his SMG and draw the lance and advance toward it. His thought being, it's coming for him. If he can keep it away from the others, it won't go for them, and he can take. His thought is like, I can take this hit. This thing can't take me down. I'll be fine.
Awesome. All right.
Because Tatsuo is Tatsuo.
Yeah, exactly. He's a tough dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, the leg just keeps moving forward. It's actually getting really close to you, and from my notes, from where I put it in the map, yeah, it is going to try to. All right, let me just find my stats. Alrighty. Okay, it's gonna try to pummel you. Okay.
Yeah.
It like really gets close to you and it throws the hit. All right, it does hit, and it does 1d4 plus 4. Okay, where's my die? All right, that's 8 damage, 8 bludgeoning damage to you. Add your
which gets reduced.
yeah, it's a strike,
too.
yeah.
Okay.
And since it's got a lot of legs, it can really try to attack again. So it's gonna pummel again. Which, according to your character sheet, doesn't hit. It's gonna try it again. The legged attacks 4 times and also does another power afterwards. The third one does hit, and that one does 6 damage. Damage reduction can only reduce like minimum to 1. So you do get the 1 damage from that. And then the final attack.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's going to change its attention, like it's going to stay right where it's at. But it's going to change its attention to the winged creature that's nearby, and it's going to go for the psychic grab. That's for you, then. It's okay, so it looks straight at you, and you sense it. It's trying to grab you, right? But as soon as you see it, you kind of like will yourself to reject it. And you just feel you feel a lot of pressure inside of your head, but only for a second before it just like loosens its grip on you. And it's actually your turn, Abdul.
I take my heavenly cannon.
Cool.
And go for the head.
Go for the head. All right.
Oh, 8.
8 total?
Yep.
Because it doesn't hit.
Yes. I aimed poorly.
Yeah.
Our big guns are not firing well tonight.
No.
The big cannon. You know?
Heavenly Cannon.
Firing well tonight.
Okay, for example, Heavenly Cannon is one of those weapons that could deal a lot of damage, but since it has a reload of 1, then your next turn you're gonna have to spend it reloading. Okay. We're back at the top. Wally, you're up.
Okay. Well, the thing is going at the the leg is going at the winged beasts, right?
Right now he's at okay. He was when I said winged beast, it was actually targeting Abdul. But right now he is in contested territory, right in front of the Kinzoku Oni.
Right. Well, I take out my how close is with me? How close am I to it?
It should be. Let me just check my notes. Yeah, it should be at about like 50. Like no, actually less, because you moved 30 feet and you were right there. So it should be at about like 30 feet from you. Probably less even, because you didn't move your full speed. So yeah, somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from you.
Okay, well, maybe it's not the best of ideas just to approach it. I take out my light gun.
All right.
And fire at it.
Cool. Roll to hit.
One shot. Just I don't have burst damage.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
However, since it does have AP, which AP for people at home, which is every single one of us, AP is armor piercing, which negates any damage reduction that any creature may have.
Okay. Got 19
That hits.
plus 3, that's 22.
Yeah, that hit. It's not a critical, but it
Um,
hits.
Yeah. 1d8 plus 1. See, let's do some damage. Okay. 4 plus 1,
All right, it's a 5er. All right,
5.
cool.
And I'm gonna have to waste a bullet here, right?
Yep, exactly.
Well, use a bullet. It's in the US box.
No, US are upgrade slots
Oh.
for people at home also.
Okay.
Weapons, and also for you guys, weapons and armor in Eldritch Century can be upgraded by, well, finding an upgrade and then spending time like just adding it. Upgrades go like can either help you deal more damage or ensure your hits, or even like deal a different kind of damage when you're hitting. Or for armor, help you like be more limber or quicker things, or even just protect you for like give you certain resistances. It really depends on what you find out there.
Okay.
Just mark it in where you want, like from what you've done.
Right under the notes, I'm gonna type down.
Excellent. Alrighty.
And now that I shut it, I'm gonna walk away a little from it
Towards the door?
just to protect myself. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so you start walking backwards, and you hit the door like pretty quickly. That's
Great.
Tino. You're up.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bolt to the door. Sure.
All right. Tino.
Yep.
Mm.
Bolting to the door and getting near it. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my trusty harpoon into the leg of it.
Okay. I do think that you have. Never mind. I thought you had a. I think I gave that to another one of your guys. All right, so you're just gonna throw it. I'm gonna have to ask you to roll to hit. Instead of using your. Actually, it's marking for your dexterity. Oh no, for your strength when you're hitting. For throwing, go ahead and roll with your dexterity modifier and your proficiency. Go ahead.
Yep, that's gonna be a natural 20.
Natural 20. All right. You prepare
Yeah.
this like yeet.
The first crit
Attaboy, Tino. Let's
of
go.
the session.
Yeah, boink. All right. Damage.
8 damage.
All right. That's for the first hit, right? Or do you want to double that, or do you want to roll your dice twice?
I think I wanna double that.
Double
I
it?
don't want to risk it. Yep.
Awesome. Minus its damage reduction. Use it at cool. All right, yeah. You throw your harpoon. You don't have it anymore among your stuff. But Tatsuo, you see the harpoon just like lodge itself in the back of the creature. It just reacts in anger, just kind of like trying to rip it away from it. But it's kind of hard to rip things away from when all you have are feet. So, yeah. All right.
Great.
Then, all right. That's the remnant. That's Tino's turn. And as soon as you throw the harpoon, you hear the noise behind you of a metallic door opening. It's just a regular door, just like the one person door. You hear it open like, and you hear the voice of the girl, "Métanse, métanse, rápido!" And she explains to you as she's opening the door and like pulling at your arm that there's no way that you guys can defeat this creature. And that's what you can see, that she's absolutely right, because the creature seems fine. Angry, sure, but it's fine. And that like she's offering that if you guys hunker down inside of the building, the thing will eventually get bored and leave. That's her turn. She's actually going to go ahead and just to add to the action, she's going to try to hit the creature, and she does hit with her revolver, which she has. It's kind of old, but it does hit and does damage. It's not a lot, but she's helping, right?
Yeah.
More than me for sure.
Exactly.
It's something.
Alrighty. The legged, it immediately like reacts to the bullet. It sees the remnant girl, and it attacks. It's going to try to do the same thing it wanted to do to Abdul. All right, no, that actually works. Let me see how the power itself functions. All right, as soon as she shoots, it locks eyes with her, and she can feel like you see her grab her head in excruciating pain for a moment and fall down to the floor and look up at you and say like, hurry, hurry. And then it's gonna want to pummel at you, Tatsuo. I'm gonna roll all 3 hits because it does have multi-attack.
Wait, is its turn before my turn? It is, isn't it? My bad. Sorry.
Oh, actually, no, it's your turn. That is absolutely right.
Okay,
it is your
cool.
turn. I mean, I'm
awesome.
gonna give her stuff back. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Grab the harpoon. Scramble its insides.
Ah! I think Tatsuo. Let's see. So for the bonus action, I'm going to study weakness, which is going to use 2 of my action points.
Awesome.
So while all of this has been happening, while everyone's shooting at it and it's like skittering around to avoid, and then the harpoon lands true and her shot lands true.
Yeah.
Tatsuo like finds the spot, hopefully. And I think he's gonna like go into a stance, bring it up, and then just like go for the side swing with the lance.
Awesome.
Right before he turns and runs as quickly as he can.
All right. Roll to hit.
Okay.
Are you gonna do the versatile with both hands or just the one?
Versatile with both hands.
Awesome.
And that is a 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Okay, great. I'll go ahead and roll damage. Hold on just a second. Okay. D12. That is 11 damage
awesome.
with the Kami Lance.
Nice.
Cool.
Just whack.
You slice away. Were you slicing at any point in particular, or does it not matter?
I think I was slicing at. So it's got the legs that come over kind of like a spider, and then it's got the torso and head down below. Exactly. I think he was trying to bisect and like just split the torso from all of the head and all of the legs on top.
Okay, so you don't split it, but you definitely do deal some real damage to it. Like it writhes and like takes a step back from you, before like walking, like using one of the actions, like move ahead of you, like move ahead to you and try to attack you. It's only gonna hit twice. One of them was a natural 1, so it is gonna try to hit you, and it's gonna try and like, but by trying to wallop at you, the other one missed. It kind of like stumbles a little bit and just like it doesn't fall prone, but it can't really do anything on like it loses its turn, right? Like whatever he was gonna do afterwards, he can't do it anymore. But you are still in contested territory with it. Abdul, you're up.
Can I run from it? I know it'll probably get an attack of opportunity on me, but I didn't move, I don't believe.
You didn't move? Go ahead. Yeah. I'm gonna do the attack of opportunity. Like good. It's yeah. All right. It sees that you're trying to get away and it's gonna try to trip you. But it fails.
Okay.
Great.
Sprinting for the door.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You make it to just the door. Like just outside.
Signaling the rest, like come to the door, it's open.
Right. Abdul, you're up. I think your microphone is off, Alan.
Yeah, mic's off.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Since I see everybody running to the door, I loosen the grip to my light sword that I was about to use and just take a second and then start running.
All right, you bolt for it.
The girl is still like in the floor by the door, or is she already
she's not
safety?
Yeah, she's in safety. She's not prone. Like she's in safety from incoming attacks, like incoming melee and ranged
Okay.
attacks. What happened to her is she was it's called a psychic grab. Essentially, the creature just like squeezed on her brain from the inside, basically, as if it were dealing
Okay.
psychic damage. So she was
Lovely.
writhing in pain. She's fine. She's alive. But like she's still welcoming everyone because the sooner that door is closed, the better.
Right.
So
Right.
I got through the door.
Awesome. So you make it like you actually like get straight to the door, like because you were closer. You help her up and like you walk in. Then Wally, are you gonna walk into the room as well?
Yeah.
Is everybody's trying to get in, right?
Has Tetsu already arrived? Or
Tetsuo
he still...
is let's say like then like what 5 to 10 feet from the door, like not in yet.
Okay, I step inside, but just one step. Wait for Tetsuo.
All right.
Well, wait for Tino as well. I really want to make sure everyone's in.
Awesome. Tino, are you gonna try to get in?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
I'm
You're in?
behind the door.
Excellent. You walk in, and I'll describe the place in a moment. And yeah, that's what you're the last one to come in, and you sense like as soon as you step in, she tries to close the door, but the creature actually does reach out for you and does the same thing that it was doing to her. It is gonna deal. That is. Let me. Where are my numbers? Okay, doke. Okay, this is the damage. Alright, it's 12. Alright, it's gonna hit for 12 psychic damage.
Oof.
And I'm guessing my
You do-
damage reduction doesn't help with that, right?
It really doesn't.
Okay.
And go ahead and do a wisdom save for me, please.
Okay. Ooh. It's not bad. It's not bad. I believe. Okay, yeah, that's a 17.
Awesome. You feel the crushing pain on you, and you just kind of like you feel it trying to like trap you, just take a real good hold on you. But you just like elbow it away, and you're in the door. And as soon as you step in, the door closes behind you. And as it does, you hear the banging on the wall, like it's kicking with all of its many legs, and like kind of like climbing onto the wall and just like banging horribly with great a great rush to destroy everything that is you, right? But it's gonna just keep ringing in your ears for the rest of the like for a couple of minutes. Um, okay, so you're in the building. It's an apartment building. If anyone saw Wreck the movie, that's exactly what it looks like. It's a medium apartment building. Um, it's been made to house a lot of people. Like as soon as you walk in, you thought that there was just gonna be like her and a couple of other people, but there's easy like 50 people in here. Like it's just, whether they're in the lobby or like doing stuff upstairs or just making noise in some of the apartments. And it's weird to you that there's so many people in here, or at least that you can hear so many people in such a close vicinity. The girl just kind of like sits up straight. She holds her head, and she kind of grabs at the wall. It's like, you got scared, didn't you? She's asking you, Tatsuo.
One of those did.
Tatsuo admits absolutely nothing.
Yeah, typical.
He just stands there without saying a word.
So
I reach out to Tatsuo, just lay on hands on him just to heal a little bit of the damage.
awesome.
Just
How much do you heal?
It's 2 HP. It's just my proficiency.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Tatsuo gives a singular nod and thanks.
As she sees what you guys are doing, she's like, Minerva, then that's good news. Everyone's gonna be really happy about this. Look, I have to talk to them, but if you want, you can just bunk in it's room 303. There's a lot of people in there, but I mean, there's enough room for 4 of you. Well, 5 of you, because one of you is really big. You should be fine, okay? Just give me a moment. And she starts up the stairs. You can still talk to her if you want before she leaves.
Right. How about we catch our breath?
All right. Do you go to the
Yeah,
room that she suggested? Moy, I
as,
think you wanted to say
as
something.
she's. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, as she's about to depart, Tatsuo is gonna give her like a respectful bow.
Right. She bows back. Like she seems really appreciative that Minerva is here. As she walks away, actually, and this is common for the remnants, you notice that there's a strange bulge on her neck, and it looks like, if you didn't know what it was, you would think it's a tumor. But you know that people who live in the miasma go through corruption, and especially remnants who live in there. So you notice as you see like closer to her, and it's a little bit of an ironic thing that it looks a little bit like a foot is growing out of her of her neck. It doesn't seem to bother her. She knows it's there. All right. So
Right. One of those don't mention things.
sorry.
No, nothing.
All right.
I approach Wole slash Nefer
Mhm.
a bit, and I say, I've seen worse.
You have seen worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Probably
have
when you
died,
were
so,
recruited. Yeah. All right. So she disappears up the stairs, and are you guys gonna go to the room that she suggested, or do you guys
Yeah.
just want to rest here? All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you walk up the stairs, and eventually you get used to the sound of the banging at the wall, right? And if you were betting people, you would think that like it's stopping, it's slowing down. It's kind of like finding something else to do. But eventually you reach the top of the, well, not the top of the stairs. You reach the 3rd floor. You look around you. You find 303, and you walk into the room, and yeah, there it's it's not too big an apartment, but it is filled to the full to the brim. It's the one bed. Actually, the 2 bedrooms that exist have the one bed where there's like like 2 or to 3 people sleeping in the same bed, and there's cots and like cardboard boxes just put around. Like this place is meant for a lot of people to be living in. There's a small kitchenette. There's like just people who live here seem to have arrived a while ago, but that doesn't mean that they're comfortable. As you were walking up, one of the apartments actually looked a little bit like a kindergarten, and you peek into into the kindergarten, and you see that all of the children are super quiet. Like it's weird, even like for the miasma, for children to be quiet, right, in kindergarten, but they all seem to be obeying this great idea that if you don't make noise, the monsters are not going to know that you're here. There's been accidents, of course. You can tell that there's been accidents because there's not a lot of children. But you do know that that's how they've managed to survive this long. Eventually, you reach 303. You see the room that I told you about. And you notice one man in the corner of the room who seems to be alone, even though he is surrounded by people. Like, nobody seems to be paying too much mind for him. Adam? To him. You walk into the room. As soon as you walk in, everybody except for this man looks at you with big doughy eyes, like, oh my god, they're here. Like, they weren't lying. It's these are the promised people who would take us out of here. What do you do?
Tatsuo's gonna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I tell to all the other agents that maybe we should ask for means for a transport or something, because we don't right now, we don't have anything to extract any transport to help
To
us
use.
extract these people.
Right.
So maybe we need to find out what kind of transport we can use, and then see how we're going to decide which people is going to go, because obviously some people is gonna be left behind.
All right. Do you tell this to the party, right? Or do you want to ask
Yes.
this for someone?
No, to the party.
Just to the party.
And also
Okay.
because Tino is the Spanish fluent one.
This
so
is true. Tino, do you want to ask someone?
Yeah, sure. I go ahead and look for someone who looks like the right guy to ask the question.
Right.
So
You see one person in the kitchenette just like working on something, and he looks, even though he looks young, it looks like the people in the floor like kind of look up to him. Like he's not anybody's mentor, but like he's someone they can trust. So you approach and you ask, and he's like, "What? Kobosos didn't tell you?"
tell us what.
Typical. We don't actually have anything that we can use, but there is an antenna up at the roof. It doesn't work for shit, but like, I mean, if you guys can fix it, I'm pretty sure that you can like make something work. Now, if you don't mind, I have to go back to this. And he turns and he just keeps cooking and like moving stuff around. The ingredients don't look good at all. In fact, they look kind of mutated, but it's better than nothing.
Okay, thank you very much. I walk around to the other party members and convey this information. It probably, if we can fix the antenna, we can call for some backup to help these
Yeah.
guys. Did you saw the look on their faces? This is exactly why we do this kind of work. And after that, I'm gonna go ahead and look Tatsu in the eyes.
Yep.
And I'm gonna spend an action point to do a blood talk.
Cool.
Mm.
It's gonna heal him
And
up, right?
That's gonna heal him 10 points of damage.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
And looking deeply into his eyes, I tell him,
Kiss him.
Tatsuo,
Oh.
I
Yeah,
have
you can see a speck of blue.
I have a question, a very important question for you. Did you bring my harpoon?
Oh, that is a very important question, and I don't think he did.
So who, like, while he was away asking about equipment and stuff, Tatsuo like found a shred of like cloth or something, and he's like wiping the Legged's blood off of his armor at the moment.
Yeah.
And like when you ask, "Did you get my harpoon?" he pauses and says, "Forgive me, shaman. I failed you on that front this day."
Now you have to make amends.
Well, I'm just gonna stay here. All right. Okay, so you're healed up, and okay, so you probably ask around someone. You don't actually have to. You just follow this. If you want to go to the roof, you can just follow the stairs. If you do want to rest a little bit and get some AP back, that would be great. That's just a couple of hours while the girl goes talk to whoever she wants to. Do you want to rest, or what do you guys want to do?
Yeah, if it replenishes the action points, I
It
would
does.
really appreciate.
Action points are, I mean, they are usually spent a lot when you're traveling in the miasma. However, resting, like short rests, recover an amount of action points equal to your proficiency bonus up to your maximum. That is, if you spent only one and you have a maximum of 3, you can't get 4. You just get up to 3, and that's it.
Right.
Thank you guys for keeping track of your action points. I probably should have. All right. So
Another question while we're at it, can
Yeah.
I like reload the gun?
absolutely, yeah, you can use this time to reload guns, no problem, because that, I mean, it's pretty easy to do that. Correct me if I am wrong. I think the Ofan has 2 action points right now, correct? Available.
Yeah, I have to.
Right. And then, where is my cursor? Here it is. Then Kinsoku Oni has the 3. I don't think you used any of your action points, did you?
I did. I used 2 of them for study weakness.
True.
Mhm.
So I think no matter what everyone else is going to do, Tatsuo doesn't have much as far as like technology is concerned.
Right.
So he figures he won't be a ton of help with the antenna. So he's going to go ahead and take a short rest, or at least that's his intention.
Yeah, right now everybody is doing a short rest while you like pull yourself together and like just sit out the action that happened. If you only use the 2 action points, you go all the way back up to 3.
Great.
I think Abdul, did you use any of your action points? You didn't. You're up to 3. Good. And Tino, you did use a couple of action points, but did you go all the way to 0? Or
Yep, I used.
Alright, so
all
you're
3.
back to 2,
2
right?
or 1 blood. Yep, that's right.
Okay, so that's, I mean, it's not ideal, but it's better than nothing, right?
Right.
As you guys are resting, just kind of like breathing in and out, you notice 2 things, very important things. The guy you noticed at the corner of the room who seemed to be alone, he's looking up at you every once in a while. He doesn't introduce himself. He doesn't really say anything. He's just kind of looking at you. If anyone wants to know more about how he's looking at you, go ahead and do an insight check, please.
Right.
Okay.
Suspicious man is suspicious.
Yeah.
Right. I got an 11.
Do you have any modifiers?
I'm not proficient with insight,
All right.
so
Do you have wisdom?
wisdom plus 3. Yeah.
All right. So that would be a plus 3. That's a 14. You can tell that maybe he wants help with something.
Okay. Tough luck. No.
Awesome. Cool. So
No.
that's all right.
Well, we should probably go to him. I tell the rest, like, just
Oh,
nudge in his direction.
Okay, but yeah, you
Like-
also say that he wants help. That's all.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got 15
Before,
on insight.
before we go, right? Before we go and talk to this guy, maybe we should really agree on who's going to try to fix the antenna. Who can actually do it? I don't
Does
know
anyone
if we need a
have high
proficiency in
intelligence
technology or tech or something.
So, Dino, from being an oceanic character, you can use Scrapcraft and then also rest to get those action points back. Scrapcraft, as an oceanic and a person who lives basically surrounded by scrap, allows him to gain advantage on resource checks to craft or repair an item during your encounter. You can also, like, with this same logic, when you're trying to fix things using technology or science, you could arguably get an advantage in that situation.
Oh, awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
All right. While you guys are deciding this, and while you're like looking at this strange man, the girl who defended you and who opened the door, she walks downstairs. She looks a lot better. Looks like all she needed was also some rest and maybe like drink some tea or whatever. She comes down, and she looks really apologetic. And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Alexandra Cobosos. I was on lookout. I'm really glad that you guys are here. What can we do? Do you guys have a car? There's a lot of us, but I think you can make a lot of trips, right?"
yeah.
We had
about
one. We had one,
the-
and we found out it can't fly.
Right. Yeah, they do that. The bridge, right?
Tatsuo will say the journey here was difficult, and
As
yeah,
soon
we'll
as
do
you say that, she's like, "Wait, you didn't try to use the what's the name of the bridge that I told you about?
The bridge.
You didn't try to use the Remedios bridge, did you?" And
We absolutely did.
yeah, as soon as you say that, the man who has been looking at you, he stands up and he is really offended. He's like,
Oh.
"What? Do you have any idea how long it took us to just to fix that?" And the one thing that I had from him, typical outsiders. He just sits down like he's just mad at you.
Tatsuo is going to go ahead and speak up and say, "Forgive me, stranger. I was the driver at the time. The monstrosity chasing us was the size of a building, and I felt it was more pertinent for us to get here and hopefully help you than it was for the bridge to not be tested. Forgive me for having faith in your construction work.
Apologies for your poor work.
I'm sorry that you suck.
Yeah. I mean,
he stares right at you, and he doesn't really say anything. But now that he looks at you, he looks hurt. Like not because you insulted his craft work. It's more nostalgic, and you notice this because you've been exactly there too, Tatsuo. Like you've experienced this emotion as well. Alexandra's here. Do you want to ask her about the antenna, Tino?
Yeah, sure.
She's like, yeah, yeah. Let me guide you. Don't mind Florin. He's seen better days. So she walks away, and you just follow her. I'm gonna split the party a bit for a second. It's fine because there's not a lot of action going on right now. As you walk upstairs, Tino, you see there's other apartments. There's another 2 stories of apartments, so they're like 5 stories in total. All the apartments are in the exact same situation as 303. And when you reach the roof, you notice that the building that you're on and a couple of other buildings nearby have been connected with like beams and other forms of transportation in between buildings. You didn't see them when you were there, but you could bet that the apartment 303 has probably one of these bridges or like beams through which people can cross somewhere in the back, closer to a window. As you see this, it suddenly makes sense to you that there's so many people in here. It's not that they're all hunkered down in the same building, even though a lot of them are, but there's enough room for a lot of people in this block. Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but listen, it's better than being outside of the miasma. So you walk up to the antenna, you check it out, and yeah, go ahead and roll. I think technology would be better, but you should do it with an advantage because of I mean you are oceanic and you can use those points and recover them as you're going through. After all, they are supposed to be for encounters, and this is just an attempt to fix something while there's no trouble going on. Also, when you reach the top, everybody, you stop hearing the noises. Actually, you heard them like walking away and just finding some other source of fear, like in the miasma.
Okay, Tino is gonna go ahead and look in the scraps to find anything useful to fix the antenna, and that's gonna be an 18.
18, awesome. Yeah, you it takes a little bit of time, but you eventually get the antenna going. She like it's hooked up to a small to a small transmitter nearby. It's under a small roof. As you're actually fixing it, you notice that one of the bars that used to make up the antenna, like or whatever they used to create the antenna, is actually roughly the same size as a harpoon. Maybe not as great, but listen, whatever works, right? You get it going, and you start checking the frequencies. It's really working. You know by heart the frequencies you need to use in order to reach Minerva, wherever they are. You know about the harbor that you used back in Portugal, and if you had had a higher roll, you would have probably made like the frequencies much wider to reach even HQ. It was a really high roll, so it's okay. Yeah, so I think you do have contacts somewhere, don't you, Tino? Yes, you do.
Yes.
All right. Tell us a little bit about Reka Jerach and your contacts.
Reka is a navigations officer working here on Faro Portugal.
Awesome.
Working for Minerva. So I think that would be the contact that I would like to make if it's possible.
All right. You check the frequencies, and yep, you hook up, and you ask for her by name, and she answers immediately. It's like, Dino, I know it's been a long time. I have not been able to meet the table in the past few months. I know, I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm stationed here. The we should be able to play like in maybe a couple of weeks. Uh, anyway, what's up? Where are you calling from? This are you in the miasma?
Yes, I am, and it's gonna be a surprise for you. But things are not going great here.
Oh,
So,
tell me about it.
yep. So we might need some assistance, some help
What are you
helping.
working on?
We are trying to get some people out of here, if you can believe it.
Well, I mean, but that is one of our main tasks. Why would you? How many people are trying to get out?
I turned to Alejandra and ask roughly how many of you are here.
There should be like about all in all, it's like 130 people total.
All right, that's gonna
Yeah,
make
it's
us
a lot of trips in one van.
Yeah.
134 people here.
She's like, all right, sure. Let me see what we have around here. She goes radio silence for a bit. She's like, Alexandra looks at you and she says, we may bump that number up to 152. I don't think Florin is gonna want to join us. I mean, not without his kids. But listen, he's a difficult person, as you may have seen, and I honestly don't think that his children are alive anymore. But hey, anything is good, and we are nothing if not patient. Eventually, the radio like comes back up. It's like, yep, I have a ship. It's gonna take a while because it's not a super fast ship. But yeah, are you guys anywhere close to river? What's the name of the river? I actually wrote it down here because you are indeed close to the river. Where is this? I should just check the map.
The Guadalquivir.
Guadalquivir, yes, the Guadalquivir River. And yeah, you're a couple of blocks away. It's gonna be a pretty. It's gonna be a little bit of a dangerous trek probably, but it's better than keeping people in here. And if everyone's quiet, you might actually make it. So yeah, you answer. She's like, okay, I should be there in gee, it's a couple of hours, right? So yeah, I'll get some people to man the guns, and you guys just hurry and be safe, okay?
Yeah, that's gonna be perfect. It give us time to make arrangements here. So thank you, and I will inform the rest.
Awesome. You power off, and she does as well. She's like over and out. And as while you're talking to this person on the other side of Portugal, you can see that little by little, the more you say things, the wider Alexandra smiles. Like you can tell that even in her wildest dreams, she had no idea that she could get out of here, and now she has a chance. All right. So okay, so you go ahead and talk to the others.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go ahead and tell them that it's gonna be a couple of hours before we can get the transport that we need. So if they want to do something else here, this might be the time to do it.
As soon as you say that, Alexandra, like you can, everybody can hear Alexandra like walking around upstairs, like running around, like screaming instructions in Spanish, like "Guarden sus cosas, ya nos vamos," like or stuff like that. You translate that, to everybody else, like put your stuff away. We're getting out of here. Everyone's super excited. Everyone's like grabbing the few things that they have around their few belongings that they have and put them in satchels, and it's like getting ready and super excited. They share the same emotion that Alexandra had, except for the man who was like mean to you before.
He misses his bridge.
He misses his bridge. Yeah, construction, dude. Right.
We should probably go to Alexandra, or someone should, and tell her that while the ship can carry all these people, the journey there is going to be difficult. So we need to find a way to take them all downstream. We can just toss them into the river and have them swim.
I mean, they're not going to be in
So-
the river though. Like the ship is going to it's going to find a way to get into the river itself. It's
But
going to
we
be a bit
have
of a
to
trek, but
move 130 people 2 blocks, right?
I mean, we're pretty
We-
quiet.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot of people.
We can. There's a couple of ways that you guys can go about this. You can either do a lot of trips, or like you can try to be quiet, or like there's since there's no vehicle anymore and they have no vehicles themselves. Perhaps actually, let me see if they have vehicles. All right.
If they don't, maybe we could form groups and take each group. It's gonna take a lot of time.
She does have an idea. She looks at you and is like, okay, I think I may have a plan. When we were building this this settlement, there were a couple of buildings that were not as lucky as we were. It may be a bit risky, but maybe some of the people can go on the street and some others can just like go through the buildings that we saw before. We usually do rounds and just to check if it's safe. So far we've been kind of lucky. I can't ensure anything, but at least that gets us some form of cover.
So go through the debris.
Yeah.
Well, whatever's safer at this point. It's a lot of people.
Debris equals noise, right? So
we can be
maybe-
quiet.
Yeah, but
we can try to be quiet.
Yeah.
to be quiet, maybe in the open street, maybe it might be easier that through debris. But I'm willing to hear.
Well, maybe also we'll be in
My
plain
fellow-
sight if we go to the streets. I mean, both ways have issues.
Tatsuo will ask Alessandra, which do you think the street is safer or the buildings are safer?
Well, it's easier to spot threats outside. And we have been surprised by the debris. So I would go for outside. I mean, we can get some people started as long as there's the ship out there. And if I heard right, the ship you guys are bringing is gonna have weapons, right? So if anything happens, we can just wait for the ship to arrive and.
Right. Then maybe we should go for the streets. I mean, at the very least, we'll get clear shots.
Right.
Anything that attacks us. So
Yep,
maybe we should
sounds
go
like a
for
plan.
that one.
As you're
Yeah.
saying this, you notice that every single person in the apartment has been looking at you, listening very intently. And you know, like from training, you know that remnants want to get out of there, right? And you know that maybe some people will be dissidents and maybe you will lose some people on the way. And while it may be ideal to bring everyone home, that may prove to be a little bit impossible. If you want more information regarding the people who can be lost, you can go ahead and roll an Eldritch roll.
Yeah.
Because it does have to do with the
Okay.
miasma.
13.
All right.
Bear.
Okay.
No bonuses.
Abdul, you do remember
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
You know that some people when they spend enough time in the fog, not only do they get certain mutations, but they also start hearing this. I think this voice is the best way to put it, and they call it the one who breathes. Nobody knows anything about this creature. Not even Minerva knows anything about this creature, other than some people can like claim to have heard it. And in fact, as you notice these people, some of the ones who are not looking straight at you are looking in one, like they're looking north, right? Like as you're planning things out, some of the people just kind of like get distracted and look elsewhere. And even as this is happening, Alexandria looks at her peers. She makes a face of like defeat. She's like, look, there may be some more space in the ship. Not everyone may be joining us. Not just what was his name? Plaza de Cuba, the building.
Bridge guy.
Not even Floren. may join us. And look, exposing some people to the great outdoors here in the miasma can only just show them that they don't really want to leave. And I mean, they may stray away from the group, and we have made peace with this. We know that this isn't your fault. This isn't anybody's fault. None of this is. We're just happy to know that some of us can make it out of here.
Tatsuo's gonna say, I move for us moving as many people at once as possible in the open. And whatever comes, we hold the line.
Awesome.
I like
Then,
Right.
as
I'm
soon
there with him.
as soon as everybody agrees, Alexandra recovers his smile. It's like, all right, everyone, let's move. And everybody just grabs their stuff and they follow. You open the front door, kind of look out. It seems clear. You open slowly, you open quietly. It's gonna take a little bit of time before everybody arrives to the destination, because you're moving quietly. You're not trying to make a lot of noise. Who's at the front of the pack?
Me, why not?
All right.
Okay.
I mean,
take
well,
the
not
rear
from the
then.
pack, from the party, because like at the back of the pack is Alexandra and some of her peers.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you wanna be in front? Okay.
Cool. All right. So
I'll be right behind him.
No, you know what? Let Abdul be in front. I asked him
let,
politely.
let
to.
the massive person made of iron.
That's a good
Yeah.
All right.
I do it.
Cool. So you guys are, as you guys walk out of the building, and the building kind of empties out, you notice that the building is now empty except for Florin, who stands at the the man who was yelling at you at the from the building, and he stands at the frame of the door, and he considers whether he wants to leave or not. And before he can actually exit, he looks straight north, like toward where everybody else was looking, except not mystified by anything or anything else, and he just shuts the door with him inside. As you guys keep walking forward, you start noticing how some of the people just like drop their luggage and start scattering away from the mob that you're leading, and none of the remnants seem to stop them. They just look at them worried. They just look at them like somebody else who is just lost now, someone they can't recover. In time, halfway through your journey, because you're trying to be really quiet and really slow, you notice like this huge ship. Get close to you. It looks kind of like a ferry, like a pretty big ferry, more than like a battleship or anything else. A ferry that's been fashioned to like have like a couple of turrets at some of the points, and just a lot of lookouts. Like there's a lot of lookouts. If you had to like count the crew, there's I don't know. It's not a big crew, but you can see that everyone is looking around, not just for you guys, but for any incoming danger. Anyway, as you keep looking behind, notice that more and more people keep scattering around, and eventually, Dino, you notice your friend. You see Reika, and she's at the ship. She opens she lowers the I don't know, not the plank, but the ramp to get people in, and she's trying to make you guys like hurry, but then she stops all of a sudden. She listens, and then she really wants you to hurry. Like she's like, y'all gotta go. We're 5 minutes in. We're almost there, you guys. And everybody turns around and they see a couple of silhouettes like not crowd the sky, like populate the sky. They are winged creatures. You've probably seen the memes. I'm gonna do one more artwork here. Not leggeds that can fly, although that sounds like an amazing idea.
Is everyone still trying to be very quiet? If not, let's just start screaming at everyone, yelling, hurry. Even if they can't understand.
Everybody agrees with you because everybody remembers their first encounter with the Flying Reaper. Oh, that's a big zoom on his beautiful face.
That's a beautiful
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a lovely lad or lass.
It's flying. Chat, can you guys see the monster now? There it is. Yeah.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
I am.
Oh, we all see it.
Yeah. Now you all see it. And it's not just one. You see like about 3 or 4 of them just like flying nearby you. Everybody's rushing in. You see the ship like just open fire at one of them as it swoops down and grabs some of the remnants and just flies away. Some people are panicked. They run away in complete fear. Others just kind of like walk away the same way that the other remnants did. Eventually, you're stuck with a far smaller number, but everyone's rushing into the ship. You can try to attack some of them to like to get attention away from you if you want. If you do, just let me know. But eventually, like you reach the edge of the ship, and you start hailing people in. You see one of them, Tatsuo. You see one of them like swooping like straight for you. What do you do?
Okay. Tatsuo is gonna bring the lance up.
All right.
And his shoulder mount is gonna go up, and he's just gonna let the whole thing loose, just like a full barrage at this incoming Reaper.
Awesome. You're gonna do
and he's
the
figuring
burst, right?
like he'll probably die, but that's okay.
But listen, all right. Okay, so roll to hit.
It's a good way to go.
Because that's gonna be with your the burst, right?
Yeah, that is with the burst. How does that change rolling to hit at all?
Actually, come to think of it, no, you don't actually roll to hit because you're trying to hit an area. So yeah, you let it loose. You lose all of your ammo for this shot, and you see the creature just like wail in pain, like change its route and like fly away to swoop in again. Tino, you are first on the ship, and you notice one of the turrets are open. You know how to man these things from your time as an Oceanic Community character, and yeah, if this is what you're doing, you just keep hailing people in, and at some point you notice that people stopped coming in, like the whatever remnants were stuck behind, they're no longer like going for you, and just as soon as she sees this, Reika just decides like, no, that's enough. All of these people are out. She looks at Alexandra for approval. She agrees. They pull the bar in together, and they just like they make a sign to keep moving. As the 4 of you get into battle positions, preparing for the birds that are trying to get to you. You know that you can do this because, I mean, you're on a ship with a lot of turrets, right? So what's the worst that can happen? And as you go, as
worst.
Right, yeah. I mean, there's a lot more that can happen, right? But you're on a ship. You've successfully done the thing, and Tino, you're on your own turret, and you look beside you, and you see Reika, who seems really pleased with herself, right next to Alexandra, and you know from their expression that no matter how many people are in the ship right now, you have successfully led these people out of the miasma, and maybe they will see a better, brighter tomorrow. That was it. That was the end of our first adventure in Eldritch Century, our first official adventure with all the system. GG, guys, what do you think?
I don't know if we rescued the remnants that we were going for, but we rescued some. So
those were them.
Oh, those were them. Great,
yeah,
great.
What did you guys think?
Great.
Mission accomplished.
Loved it.
God. I want to go back and help Florel to find these guys.
Rebuild the bridge.
Rebuild the bridge, at the very least. Help him with the bridge.
The nicest planks.
Yeah. Maybe you can bring some from home.
Returns to make amends.
Hopefully he'll still be alive.
Hopefully.
You did lose a harpoon, so.
That is true. You do gotta go get it back.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Part 2 of the adventure.
Nice.
It was great. It was
Awesome.
a great time.
I am really glad you enjoyed it. Everybody else who was in chat, thank you guys for bearing with us. We had a pretty good average of viewers. You can, of course, get your own copy of Eldritch Century, Chronicles of the Wounded Earth. I am completely certain that somebody from the team is in chat right now. Go ahead and throw the necessary links so that people can check him out. And yeah, I mean, check out our social media, check out our webpage, dracostudios.com, and join our Discord, which is still live. I think we can probably get the invite here. I don't want to mess with with my setup right here. I didn't want to do this to everybody else and make it look horrible, so I'm just gonna go back to full page. Yeah, thanks everyone. Thank you, Adan, Andres, Moy, and Mason for joining us. I really hope that you enjoyed this game, and the campaign is going to be over tomorrow. Yeah, I think tomorrow, a couple of hours. So yeah, go get your STLs. Help us out with the stretch goals, and we'll see you guys next time.
It was
Great,
great.
great
Thanks for
game.
joining,
I
everybody.
Really enjoyed it.
Great game,
Love it.
everyone.
Let's do this again sometime.
Yeah,
Thank you,
let's.
Bernardo.
Nice,
Yeah.
Hey.
nice.
Thank you guys who were great. This was really fun. Yeah, Pam Draco is adding the links, the necessary links that you guys want to go ahead and click. I'm gonna go ahead and change scenes. While we just, get out of here, right? All right, you guys. Have a good night. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.